Live at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California, where the Washington Redskins meet the San Diego Chargers in an interconference game. And it is a perfect day in San Diego, almost as usual. Dan Fouts would say it'll clear up any time. 74 degrees with light winds. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan here in San Diego at Jack Murphy Stadium for what should be an exciting, score-filled football game. Now, the Washington Redskins come in here 2-0, and they are one of the best defensive teams in the league. Number 3 a year ago, behind only the Bears and the Giants. They're off to a great defensive start again, and they have 11 sacks in 2 games. They've won 5 games in a row on the road. That's the best record in the NFL, and they beat up on AFC teams. They've won 13 of their last 14 meetings against the AFC. Well, Terry Bradshaw, it seems to me the Redskins ought to be favored, but they have never faced an offense like the San Diego Chargers.
Well, Tim, I can tell you this, that playing the Chargers is bad enough like playing a tiger. But when you play a wounded tiger, you realize then what kind of war you're in for. As good as the Redskins are on the road, equally as good are the Chargers here at home, winning their last 7 games at home. This is a great opportunity for the Chargers to try to get their record back at 2-1. They're an offensive team that gives you a lot of different formations with Joyner and with Kellen Winslow, a great offense. But the guy today, the key would be number 40, Gary Anderson, the multiple formations and the set they put him in, and how the Redskins are able to adjust is the key to this game.
All right, Terry, and the Chargers are going to receive the kickoff wearing their home dark uniforms. It'll be Steve Cox kicking it off, and there is Lionel James, and he is ever dangerous. The little train with Gary Anderson alongside him. And it's going to be James from the 3-yard line to the 23-yard line. Terry Orr, reserve tight end, made the tackle for the Redskins, and Dan Fouts brings out the Chargers, and he will be facing this very difficult Washington defense. The 4-man front, Charles Mann, Dave Butts, the great veteran, 36 years of age, Dean Hamill, and Dexter Manley. The linebackers, Monty Coleman for the injured Mel Kaufman, Neil Olkowitz and Rich Millot. And a fine secondary, Green and Dean on the corners. Ken Coffey back after an injury last year along with Curtis Jordan. First down and 1 setback for the Chargers. And throwing as you might expect. Intended for Charlie Joyner, but very good coverage in the middle by Olkowitz. And it'll be 2nd and 10 for the San Diego Chargers. Buford McGee, the running back with Gary Anderson, McGee for the injured Tim Spencer, Charlie Joyner, Wes Chandler the wide receivers, and the distinguished tight end Kellen Winslow, number 80. Across the front, the outstanding second-year man Jim Lachey with Sam Clappin, Don Masick, Dennis McKnight, and Gary Kowalski. 2nd and 10 Chargers. Anderson and McGee now lined up in the backfield. The pitch to Anderson. Excellent defensive play by the Washington Redskins. They closed down the intended hole out the left side, and then when he cut it back, he barely got to the line of scrimmage.
Middle linebacker had to shoot outside, stop, stay low, be back, and waited on Anderson. He's one of those backs that you say, well, he's going that way, hold it. I'll just sit here. He's bound to come back sooner or later. That time, Olkowitz waited, and Anderson came back to him.
Barry Wilburn has come in defensively in this nickel situation. 5 defensive backs for the Redskins, 3rd and 11. Fouts on a short drop. Intended for Chandler. Double coverage there. Wilburn along with Curtis Jordan. And the Redskins really do a number on the Chargers on this first series of plays. And so the San Diego Chargers will have to punt. Joe Gibbs on the Washington sideline has to be happy with that opening series by his defensive unit. The punter, Ralph Mozienko, number 2, and the deep man will be Ken Jenkins, waiting for it at the Washington 39-yard line. Jenkins re-signed after being one of the late cuts by the Redskins. When Kelvin Bryant went down last week, they brought back Jenkins, a handy man as a running back and a very fine return man. Big punt by Mozienko back to the 30-yard line. And Jenkins picks up 4 to the 39-yard line. A 43-yard punt by Ralph Mozienko, and Eric Sievers making the tackle for the San Diego Chargers. And the first offensive series for the Redskins. Jay Schrader, number 10. The replacement for the retired Joe Theismann, and he will face this San Diego defensive line. Lee Williams, a fine pass rusher. Chuck Ian and Leslie O'Neal are number 1 choice at right end. Billy Ray Smith, Gary Plummer getting a start, and Tom Benson and Robinson at the linebackers, and there you see the secondary with a rookie, Donald Brown, replacing the injured Danny Walters. First down, Redskins. Gary Clark in motion. A reverse on the first play. Monk. To the 39-yard line of the Chargers. Art Monk. And forced out by Gil Byrd and Gary Plummer.
You like to run reverses after you set them up with a play. This is a simple handoff to the back. Rogers, who goes to the right, hands in reverse to Monk. Normally you don't open up your game plan with a reverse because you want to get pursuit, people chasing that back. So they came out this time, the Redskins, and said, well, let's do something different. Let's run a reverse, and boy, they get a big play out of it.
4 down linemen, pardon me, for the Chargers here now on first down at their own 39. Didier starts in motion for the Redskins. George Rogers, he's got 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. And it's Gil Byrd, number 22, making the tackle as we look at the Washington offensive squad. Rogers, the lone running back. Monk and Larry Clark, the wide receivers. Warren and Didier, the tight ends. Joe Jacoby, Russ Grimm, Jeff Bostic, Raleigh McKenzie for the injured R.C. Thielman, and Mark May, the offensive line. And Joe Bugel, boss in that department, thinks that this might be one of the best offensive lines Washington has ever assembled. And with Thielman and McKenzie perhaps sharing the duty the rest of the way, depending on the condition of Thielman's knee. 2nd and 4, Redskins. Rogers over the 29-yard line will be very close to the first down. Leslie O'Neal and Chuck Ian combining on the tackle. Leslie O'Neal, number 91, big number 1 choice from Oklahoma State, having a fine rookie start for the Chargers. 6'4", 255-pounder, and has shown extremely good quickness in his first 2 outings.
Well, the thing that a football team like the Redskins will do today, they will go at a Leslie O'Neal, a rookie, realizing that, hey, there's an opportunity. Maybe he's weak, he's young, and we'll go out and we'll find out what he can do. That time it was a counter action to get the linebackers going one way and back with Rogers trying to get the first down.
So it's going to be 2nd and very short. Third down, and less than a yard, about the length of the football, as you can see. And the aroused crowd here at Jack Murphy Stadium, sold out today, trying to get the Chargers fired up to stop them. Rogers, and he has the first down, getting close to the 27-yard line of the San Diego Chargers. And right now, let's take you to Brent Musburger in New York for an update on the Atlanta-Dallas game.
Well, I'll tell you, Tim and Terry, there's absolutely no quit in these Atlanta Falcons. A couple of times today, they have seemed out of it, but they come roaring back. Riggs scores. They're down by a point in the 4th quarter. Let's go back now to Tim and Terry. There's time left.
All right, back here in San Diego at the 27-yard line. First down for the Redskins. We are just underway. The Redskins stuffing the Chargers on their first offensive series, and the first offensive series for Washington. Schrader, lots of time. He's got a man open. Didier, and it's just overthrown. The cornerback, Donald Brown, scrambling to get back, but that should have been 6.
Great job that time by the right corner. Donald Brown, 32, in playing this time, starting this game in the place of Danny Walters, who's out for the season with an Achilles heel injury. He was actually held up in the flat. He stayed there. The back got in behind him, and then he made a great play in going back and knocking the ball away. 32, boy, it was really a good play by him.
Gary Plummer, linebacker in the lineup, and Earl Wilson has joined the defensive line with Kevin Wyatt coming in as a nickelback for the Chargers. 2nd and 10. Washington. Again, good time, and it's caught for a first down. Washington. Didier at the 13-yard line of the Chargers. 13-yard gain for Clint Didier.
One of the things you like to do as a quarterback when you're down inside the 30-yard line, Tim, is you like to run crossing routes. And you say, why? Well, because when you have people crossing, they're normally the teams will play man coverage, man-to-man on the receivers, so they can play tight. And by crossing, you hope to get a natural pick. That time Didier came inside, crossed, and was wide open.
First down, Redskins threatening here in their first offensive series. Didier in motion. Rodgers, they meet him at the line of scrimmage, and he carries a couple of charges for about 3 yards. Leslie O'Neal finally bulldogs him down. George Rodgers hopping into that hole. That's what Jay Schrader says. The big difference between Rodgers and John Riggins is that Rodgers likes to hit the hole immediately, and it's created a little timing problem for the offensive line. They're now finally used to him. Riggins used to kind of start a little slowly, look for that opening, and then blow through there. So an adjustment, naturally, and the line now feeling more comfortable with the more explosive style, a quick start style of Rodgers. Second down and 8. Monk in motion. Back the other way. Schrader steps inside, but is hit just as he let the ball go. And it was Leslie O'Neal who got an arm on him, and the pass went awry. Third down.
The thing that you have to fear as a defensive coach is the scrambling ability of Schrader. Now you're going to see him go back. He knows he has man coverage. Now he's forced out of the pocket. He steps up, and then all of a sudden Leslie O'Neal coming in from his right end spot gets his hand up and gets it on the throwing arm of Schrader.
Earl Wilson has come in, number 93, to make a 4-man front. Mike Douglas, the former Packer, comes in at linebacker, and Kevin Wyatt, the nickelback. Third down. Chargers looking for the pass. Monk again reverses his motion move. Schrader gets it off. Wide open. Gary Clark can't make the catch. Whoa, Terry, there was a defensive error on that play, but Schrader overthrew him.
Wasn't a defensive error, Tim. What happened was the thing I had said earlier. Clark had come down the field, brought this man inside, planted firmly, and came back out and left the defensive back flat on his face. And Schrader was so shocked to see him wide open, he actually just overthrew the football. That has happened to me a lot of times when someone is so wide open. He said, oh my gosh, let me just get it to him easily, and you miss him.
Those are the tough ones, right, when they're that wide open. Well, Mosley will attempt a field goal from the 19. Schrader holding, and that's just a little 9-iron for Mark Mosley. So the Washington Redskins have moved the ball very well on their first offensive series until they got down into what they call the red zone, and then some problems. Even though they had Clark wide open, they did not come up with the 6, but Mosley sends them on top 3-0 here in this first period. We've still got 10:06 to play. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw on a perfect afternoon for football. The Redskins going 48 yards for a 29-yard field goal by Mosley. 10 plays using up 3:46 on the clock. Now, Terry, I think if Joe Gibbs would be happy with the series, he would be happy with this one because, again, 10 plays, 3 minutes, 46 seconds, nearly 4 minutes used up. He wants to keep that dangerous Fouts offense off the field. He's got to feel pretty good about his performance so far.
One of the things you like to do as a football team when you're playing a football team like the Chargers who have the quick striking ability is to take your big running back like Rodgers and take him and pound away on the defense, eat up the clock, hopefully convert those long drives and time-consuming drives into touchdowns. Naturally, it forces the Chargers out of their short, quick strike offense and forcing them to take bigger chunks of yardage, which naturally plays into a defense's hands and enables a defense to be aggressive and attack the football and get the interceptions.
And there is Jay Schrader trying to explain what happened on that pass to Gary Clark. But I think you sure remember those ones, don't you, Terry?
Gosh, you know, to find someone so wide open is shocking. He did a good job of reading and going to the proper guy. Then he looks at it and said, oh, my gosh, hold it. And he said, don't pull it in the ground. And then you throw it right over his head.
All right, Steve Cox, you can nail him. It's kind of a line drive, and it goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line. They'll have to do it over again. Lionel James there to field it, but Cox will, that now well-known leg will be tested because he'll kick it off from 5 yards farther back.
He probably did that on purpose, you know, practicing going out on the 1-yard line. Now they're going to back him up 5 yards, and he's going to nail this baby out of the end zone. Kind of takes you back to your old soccer days, Tim.
Not mine, that's for sure. So the Redskins, well, they've gotten themselves out to a 2-0 start and have shown their solid defense of a year ago, but offensively they've done the job as well, whipping up on the Eagles in game 1 and showing enough last week, although they were disappointed in their offensive play against the Raiders. But here they are now with an opening field goal on a very impressive offensive series to start this game. That's what the Dolphins are doing to the Jets over there in New York today.
How about that Dallas-Atlanta game, 35-34?
Falcons, you know, they always say, are they for real? Maybe they're for real. Well, who knows?
If they're drawing bread,
Dallas
they're for
today.
real.
Yeah, you got that right. Washington on that first drive had 5 rushes and 4 passes, mixed up beautifully. Came up with 3 points on the field goal. So Cox, again, another line drive. They don't want to give James a chance to return it, and that one worked perfectly. You're looking at James and Gary Anderson. You sure don't want to. You sure don't want to have face a return by those 2 dangerous return men. So they'll start from their 20-yard line. And Dan Fouts will try to get something going on this series, as they were totally shut down first time they had the ball. Trumaine Johnson in the game, number 83, goes out wide to the left. Winslow and Holohan, double tight ends. They'll show you every possible combination of offensive talent that they have, and they've got plenty. Trumaine Johnson. First down to the 41-yard line. Curtis Jordan makes the tackle there. 21-yard gain.
Now, what made the thing that enables Trumaine Johnson, number 83, to get open? Look at Fouts, looking to the right, pump. Now he gets the safeties committed. Now he comes back, no one in the middle of the cover, him wide open. Now all of a sudden you see the safety Jordan come over to make the stop.
Trumaine Johnson, drafted number 5 in 1983, went to the USFL. They got him back. But rambling. This is the little train. Lionel James. Another first down, San Diego. Rich Millot and Monty Coleman made the tackle. And the 5'6", 670-pound Lionel James. You're talking with Don Coryell. There's a flag down on the play. Talking with Don Coryell on the practice field about this guy the other day. He was the one, Terry, remember, he pointed to me. Look at that guy. Let's listen here.
Number 72 defense. After the play, 15 yards, first down.
Dexter Manley charged with a personal foul. A late hit, we presume. Unnecessary roughness to call, and they get an extra 15 tacked on. But Coryell pointing out James to us, he must kind of look at him in wonderment himself, because he said, look at the size of that guy. He's amazing. For him to be such a tough guy, I said, well, you know, has he shown he can really take all those hits? And he said, Tim, believe me, he can take them. Some kind of football player that's like Lionel James, catch the ball real well. Good runner and a fine return man. First down. To the 14-yard line of Washington.
Great job that time by Anderson himself. Once again, going to the right, as you can see. Dan comes out, opens up, goes to the right, sets up Olkowitz, sets up the tackle, and then Anderson cuts back inside. On the backside, Manley trying to make the tackle, but he was a little bit too late getting there.
First down, Chargers. At the 15-yard line of Washington. They trail 3-0. Reverse, Anderson. To the 4-yard line, Gary Anderson. Jordan stopped him there. This guy is Mr. Excitement.
Well, you got to believe that after watching the Redskins open up with a reverse, Chargers said, why not? This is a good time. A double reverse, hands back to Anderson, who cuts back inside. Doesn't get quite the yardage that the Redskins got, but it's a first down.
Anderson, their number 2 choice, also in 1983 when they drafted Johnson. He went to the USFL. Tampa Bay Bandits joined the Chargers last year. Are they glad to have him? That's McGee banging inside. McGee in Spencer's spot. This is the short yardage situation. They'd like to have the bigger Tim Spencer, but he's got a knee injury. He's in the lineup, but not expected to play today.
Tim, something very important that I think our viewing audience would like to know is that in these areas, everyone likes to blitz and be very aggressive. No, that is the reason you do reverses. That's the reason you get isolated man-to-man on your receivers and do a lot of crosses and end up with those picks. It's because of the man-to-man tight coverage and blitzes.
It is 2nd and goal for the Chargers, and Fouts wants to throw it. Nobody open, and he throws it out of the end zone. Flags everywhere. Kellen Winslow, the intended receiver, we put that in quotes because he was well covered, and Fouts, the wily old veteran, just chucked it through the end zone. Now let's see what the flags are about.
You got an offensive pushing, it looks like.
It's against San Diego. The preliminary call, our referee today is Gordon McCarter. He is number 48.
Pass interference, number 80 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Well, now, Terry, if you've opted to throw down there, if maybe you think it's going to be tough to run it in against that tough Redskin defense, and you're the quarterback, is this a real serious penalty, or are you glad to have a little more passing room?
I would rather be back on the 5-yard line and have that down over, and I would like to go in motion and find out if they're going to run people with my receivers and then get outside with the picks. Picks are illegal, but you run them every down.
Fouts to throw again. He's got good protection. Now running out of time. The release man is Anderson. What a move! Oh, what a play! And what power with those skinny legs.
Once again, it starts with the offensive line. A lot of time, Anderson's not even the primary receiver. He is strictly an outlet. He's waiting. Dan checks the field. Everyone is covered. Now he beats Rich Malott on a great fake. Comes inside on the safeties and just with great individual effort gets that football into the end zone.
Rolf Benerschke. And the Chargers lead at 7-3, 6:17 remaining in the first period. Don't go anywhere, folks. There's going to be lots more like this. There is Gary Anderson. What a job on that touchdown play. Fouts to Gary Anderson. The release man, you saw Fouts looking downfield and then going to him. Here it is again.
Well, Dan has great time. He steps up in the pocket. He doesn't set deep for a quarterback, so the ends don't have a chance to get to him. He checks everyone downfield. They're covered. Now, here's the first move, the one on Rich Malott, 57. Now, there's a move on the safety, and then there's a move where he runs over the deep safety, Curtis Jordan, 22, to get it in the end zone.
Rolf Benerschke to kick it off. And it's taken by Derek Holloway. And, ooh, what a hit on him at the 20-yard line. That was Gary Plummer, linebacker number 50, getting quite a lick on the rookie Derek Holloway at the 21-yard line. Holloway, another USFL refugee, as is Plummer. Maybe they met each other in the other league. Gary Plummer getting the start today ahead of the rookie Ty Allen at linebacker, the number 5 choice from Texas. Been working the first 2 weeks at that left inside linebacker spot, but Plummer there now. First down, Redskins. Perfect strike to Gary Clark and a perfectly timed hit from Dale, number 37, Jeff Dale.
That was a absolutely perfect play call in the fact that they caught the Chargers that time in a 2-deep zone, and the corner pulled up to take Monk, 81, and then Clark went in behind him on the safety. It's like man for man. It was a good pass. They should have caught it.
Schrader's 1 for 5 so far on that first drive with some good running. They still came up with the field goal to take the lead, but the Chargers now in front, 7-3. 2nd and 10, Washington, their own 21. One setback. That is Keith Griffin Fred Robinson, number 90, the linebacker from Miami. He's a converted defensive end. They moved back under the new defensive coordinator, Ron Lynn. This is a totally restructured defense here in San Diego, Terry.
Well, the thing that Ron Lynn has done is take the same personnel, Tim, but he's moved them around. He took Billy Ray Smith, number 54, who has played the last 2 years inside linebacker, back out to outside linebacker, and took in and made him a linebacker, number 90, Robinson.
Third down and 9. They gave him a yard on that last play. Deep drop by Schrader, and he is set. Chuck Ian, number 78, made the first contact, and Lee Williams, who has 3 sacks already, was the man to haul him down.
As you can see, it starts off as good protection, but Ian, 78, the nose tackle, beats his man, comes around on a pick that's set up, and then Williams, 99, the defensive left end, comes in and makes the sack. That would give him his 4th sack for the year. Last year he had 7 after just 7 games.
Steve Cox hits it from the 4-yard line. Bearcat signal by Lionel James, and the Chargers will have possession in Washington territory at the 47-yard line when we return to Jack Murphy Stadium. It's 7-3 Chargers. We are back at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California, with 4:57 to play in the first period, and we have had some excitement as San Diego falling behind 3-0 on the Redskins' first series, a Mark Mosley field goal, and the Redskins having stuffed the Chargers on their first offensive try. But then the second time San Diego got the ball, they marched, and it wound up with a 13-yard touchdown pass from Dan Fouts to Gary Anderson, and a nifty bit of running by Anderson for the score. Chargers with a first down in Washington territory, intended for Anderson, off his fingertips, but he was out of bounds. Good coverage by Darrell Green, number 28, the speedsters. He won the contest for the fastest man in the NFL, beat Willie Gall of the Chicago Bears to win that thing, and you know that they're going to try and get him on Gary Anderson. I'm sure if they get one-on-one, that's the guy they want on him, I would think. Well,
in talking to both coaches, they were concerned about Anderson, and they felt like if they had to isolate anyone man for man, a guy that could cover him all over the field, it was Darrell Green, 28. That time he covered him very well.
Bounce is 2 for 5. Gets some time, and he's got a man open. Tremaine Johnson, first down at the Washington 30, but a flag down behind the line of scrimmage, and the preliminary call is holding against the San Diego Chargers. Don Coryell, as you would expect, not thrilled about either the call or the infraction, if he felt his man was indeed guilty.
Number 74 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
That is Jim Lachey, the second-year man from Ohio State. And I guess of all the guys that we talked to the San Diego coaching staff about, this was the one that they were raving about. They say this guy is going to be an all-pro forever. Number 74, 6'6", 285-pounder. And I think, Terry, you were astounded how well he's pass blocked. Here's a guy from Ohio State and get to practice much pass blocking there, right? We'll be watching him today. On 2nd and 20, Lionel James gets 9 of it back. Let's go to Brent Musburger for an update.
All right, Tim, a minute to go in Dallas. David Archer, a desperation pass. He wants Floyd Dixon over on the left side. There's contact with the defensive back. Dixon's concentration enables him to make the catch. He gets down inside the 5. 3 plays later, McLuckers kicks a field goal. Atlanta leads. Let's go back to Tim Ryan.
Falcons, well, off to a fine start. Flags everywhere. The ball never came up, so it's the old who drew or who jumped.
Well, you've got probably one of the, well, he is.
False start, number 77 offense.
Somebody drew.
I'm glad the ref corrected me, because I was going to say we have 74 Lachey against 72 Manley.
It was Sam Clappin, number 77. You'll see it here.
Yep, there's Sam. He says, hey, a little quick shot here. Do things in a fast way around here.
You got that Dexter Manley over there. You want to get ready in a hurry. Try and block him. So it is 3rd down. Fouts got a man open. That is Wes Chandler, and he had the first down where he caught the ball. First down, San Diego at the 36-yard line of the Redskins. 20-yard gain.
And a lot of offenses, you wouldn't have this much time, and this pass would not be completed. But look at Fouts, looking left, down the middle, then has the time to go back, and he finds Chandler. He works his way free into the zone, sat down, and then Fouts was able to get him the football.
At the 36-yard line, Wes Chandler, 20-yard pickup for the first down, his first catch of the day. Vernon Dean and Curtis Jordan combining to stop him there. McGee, another first down to the 18-yard line. And what a variety of plays we've seen from the Chargers. Terry, you pointed out to me before the game as we see this one that no matter how you prepare for them, they're still going to give you different looks.
Well, they can run the same plays from a lot of different formations. This time you see Okowitz goes out to the right to send Buford McGee in the middle. He sits down at 10 yards. This same play may have been run from a different formation last week.
Chargers are charging. They're at the 19-yard line of Washington. They lead 7-3. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw, and we have had a very entertaining first period. 2 minutes still to play. This is McGee off tackle right, picks up about 5 yards.
You realize, Tim, how confusing it must be for the linebackers and the defensive backs of the Redskins to have to constantly, after charting the offense of the Chargers all week long and looking at all these plays, and this week alone, the Chargers, we were told, would run at least 12 offensive formations, and from that, variables of 4, which means there could be 48 different formations that those people have to concentrate on and make adjustments to.
Second down, 5 to go. They're in the I formation now. First time we've seen that. This is Anderson. Forced out of bounds. Good job there by Monty Coleman, number 51, penetrating and forcing Anderson out before he could turn it upfield.
This time they sent both their outside linebackers, 51 Coleman, right in the center of your screen as he comes to the outside, goes inside, takes on the blocker that time, goes back outside and stops Anderson. Buford McGee, who is known to be a blocker, not that big a guy, Tim, but Coach Coryell says, hey, this guy can block even with Spencer out. He can do the job.
Monty Coleman starting for the injured Mel Kaufman, and like the injured Danny Walters in San Diego, gone for the year with an Achilles tendon ruptured and finished for the season. A one-handed catch by Kellen Winslow. It'll not be a touchdown, but it's a first down at the 1. Coffey, the unfortunate man who had to cover him.
There's so many people you have to cover. They have him. He has him man for man. Actually, he does a good job of covering him. You see that Okowitz is all over the tight end that time, Winslow, but Winslow stands 6'6". Time he reaches his hands up, he's sitting there about 9'4" and makes a good one-handed grab.
And it was actually Okowitz making the chase on him. Buford McGee for the touchdown. Chargers up quickly here. 2 consecutive drives for touchdowns. Benershka will attempt the point after, and they've used about everybody they've got in the lineup. 47 seconds remaining in the first period. The San Diego Chargers 14 and the Redskins 3. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw on a beautiful sunny San Diego afternoon, Jack Murphy Stadium. And Buford McGee has put the Chargers on top 14-3 with a 1-yard touchdown run. Rolf Benershka will kick it off. From the 2-yard line, Derek Holloway. Flag is down. 2 of them indeed, as Holloway got to the 23-yard line. Stopped there by Gary Plummer and Kenny Taylor.
Number 50, Gary Plummer with a tackle.
See what the flags are from referee Gordon McCarter as Jay Schrader will lead the Redskins offense.
Illegal block. Number 82 on the receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
That was Anthony Jones, a reserve tight end who plays so well on the specials. An illegal block, and the Redskins have had some problems with penalties. And Joe Gibbs is one of those real serious discipline kind of guys. Doesn't like to see his club pick up unnecessary penalties. They start from a hole back at the 10. This young San Diego defense stopped them on the last series. Let's see what Schrader and company can do here. Rodgers. Good coverage out there. About 4 Chargers forcing him out of bounds. A gain of about 4 or 5. Let's take you now back to our studios in New York. Brent Musburger, an update on Atlanta-Dallas.
Well, Tim, here's how the game ended. Atlanta wins with a tremendous upset. The last gasp by the Cowboys. Could Tony Hill have stepped out of bounds in time to allow Septian to kick a field goal? Awfully close. Landry was yelling for the sideline, step out of bounds, but he didn't. Let's go back to Tim Ryan.
This is 2nd and 6 for the Redskins, and 2 good defensive plays by the Chargers. Tom Benson, number 57, the linebacker. Billy Ray Smith. Benson, the third-year man from Oklahoma, came over in a trade this year from the Atlanta Falcons, whom we have just learned have dumped the Dallas Cowboys in a thriller today to remain unbeaten. And next week, most of you will be seeing Atlanta and Tampa Bay, and they were both victors today. Tampa defeating Detroit. And we've come to the end of the first quarter here at Jack Murphy Stadium. And the fans are loving what they've seen so far. The San Diego Chargers lead the Redskins 14-3. Well, we have just completed an action-packed first quarter at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw watching the mighty Redskins having their hands full against the explosive offense of the San Diego Chargers. The Redskins 2-0. The Chargers 1-1. A disappointing offensive show against the Giants last week. But as Dan Fouts said after 5 interceptions by the Giants, my mama told me there'd be days like this. I got over it quickly, but I'm ready to play. And so far he has been. Schrader now on first down at Gary Clark. First down for the Redskins at their 25. And the tackle made by Donald Brown, the rookie from Maryland. He was pretty nervous about getting this start today in his 3rd game as an NFL pro, replacing the injured Danny Walters. And mainly, Terry was nervous about the game being seen back in the Maryland area where he played his college football. He said, boy, I got a lot of pressure on me.
If I were him, Tim, I'd be concentrating on the guy I'm covering, not worried about where this broadcast is going.
First down with Gary Clark making that catch from Jay Schrader. Good play-action fake. Down the sideline, intended for Art Monk. Monk was open, but Schrader didn't get the ball to him. Back on the coverage was number 20, Wayne Davis, and then you saw Billy Ray Smith dropping back to help out, diving for that low pass.
That time Monk had driven the cornerback deeply, and Billy Ray Smith, that linebacker to his side, had dropped in the flat. And when Jay came out of his play action to throw the ball to Monk, he was surprised to see Billy Ray Smith there, and he actually just threw the ball in the ground. It was a smart move that time by Schrader.
Keith Griffin comes in on 2nd and 10. Try to get him in on the passing situations in this one-back offense by the Redskins. Pressure on Schrader. He's got a man open, Gary Clark. To the 25-yard line of San Diego.
You can say whatever you want to about you want your quarterbacks in the pocket. You can say that they're the important part of the football team. Keep them healthy. But, folks, give me someone with this kind of athletic ability, a guy that can get outside and make things happen. This quarterback, that time Schrader, gets outside, finds his man downfield, and then completes the pass to Clark for a huge first down. Any other quarterback with less talent would have been sacked for a big loss that time.
51-yard gain to the Chargers' 24-yard line. And Terry Bradshaw, when I said to Jay Schrader yesterday, did you read in the paper that Bradshaw says your arm is stronger than his? He said, yeah, I didn't believe him at all. It's a nice thing for him to say. I don't believe my arm was definitely not as strong as Terry's was. And he said, you know, I used to watch Bradshaw and Burt Jones. Those were my idols because I love those strong arms.
Oh, I'll tell you that. So first of all, I know he didn't believe everything he was reading in the paper. Very complimentary, but this young man has a cannon.
It is first down Redskins at the 24-yard line of the Chargers. Early in the second period, and we have had thrills and spills. Rodgers, they got him just at the line of scrimmage. He'll get maybe a yard. Leslie O'Neal, the rookie, number 91, and Chuck Ian, the 4-year nose tackle from Brigham Young on the stop.
Now, the thing that's happening now with the Chargers defensive line, knowing the counter action where Schrader will come out fake left and hand the ball back to Rodgers, they have started blitzing their linebackers, their inside linebacker and the outside linebacker, penetrating the gaps to stop the run.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Warren shifts to the wing right. Both these teams show a lot of motion as they set up. Monk stumbled a bit. Schrader sails it for Didier. One-on-one coverage, but it's out of bounds as right with him, step for step, was number 22, Gil Bird.
Excuse me, Tim. Gilbert told us the other day that the thing that frightened him the most, 22, is he's on your screen there. He said is when they bring Didier outside and they find out that I'm isolated man for man on him, he said that's when my day starts. Because when they find that out, they're going to exploit me. And he said, I hope I'm up to the task.
Well, and Didier last week scored a touchdown on a pass from Schrader as he got isolated, took it upfield, and beat Turan of the Raiders for a score. 3rd and 10. Redskins at their own 25. Double wing right for Washington. Deep drop. Intended for Griffin. Coverage on him from the linebacker Benson, and it's incomplete. 4th down. So this young Charger defense doing a good job.
The thing I think that happened this time was Schrader really should have audible. He read cover 2, 2 deep zone. He had a wingback set, and the wingback is isolated by the middle linebacker. He should have seen this, come out audible, got that middle linebacker, head up on his back man for man, and beat him down the middle for a touchdown. That time he stayed with a regular play, and the defense covered that play.
Well, the inexperience of Schrader perhaps there in his first full season. Mosley from the 31-yard line, and he hit the upright. Mark Mosley saw the ball bounce back. So this time the Redskins come up empty despite that 51-yard gain on the pass from Schrader to Gary Clark. 13-13 remaining first half. The Chargers hold the lead 14-3. Mark Mosley hit the uprights in a 41-yard attempt, and he was 3 for 3 coming into that one. So the Chargers taking over at the line of scrimmage, and the little train, Lionel James, gets about 3 on the right side. Calling him down, number 71. Charles Mann, and Neil Okowitz getting into it, number 52.
If you're a defensive player now for the Redskins, they've shown you so many formations, they've done so many different things. You have to be a little bit cautious now and say, well, let's play a little softer, stop giving up the big play, and see if we can stop all the short runs and the short passes.
2nd down and 8. Quick drop by Fouts. He's got an open man with tight end Winslow, and he is close to the first down, depending on the mark, at the 35-yard line. And it looks like he's got it. Kellen Winslow, Chandler, Anderson, James, McGee have all been involved in this offense. The only man that hasn't caught a pass so far is Charlie Joyner. And you know he's going to get at least one.
Well, he's always an all-time active receiver, so he's bound to get one sooner or later.
First down. Everybody gets to play in this offense, and there's Lionel James, and he picks up close to 5. You know, they'll do some interesting things with him, too. Usually they'll have McGee in front of him, or they'll pull blockers behind him. In front of him, rather, and he's just hard to see. I mean, let's face it.
He's so exciting. Tim, and you can tell how exciting he is just by the roar of the crowd. Now, the man gained 3 yards that time, and this place was going crazy, so he makes a lot of moves for 3 yards.
He's got 28 on the day, and they actually gave him 5. It's 2nd and 5. Chandler comes out to the left. In motion comes Holohan for the 3 tight ends. McGee behind Clappin. Good defensive work on that play by the Redskins. Stripping through the blocks, Dean Hamill, along with Jordan and Coffey, and it's not been a pleasant week for Hamill, number 78, the second-year man out of Tulsa. He was involved in a little altercation at Curtis Jordan's restaurant last Monday night and has been charged with assault. And so he's got that on his mind, no doubt, today. 3rd down and 4 yards to go for the Chargers at their own 41-yard line. Holohan in motion. Now comes back to block, and they've got Train in the open territory for a 1st down. The little Train Lionel James to the 48-yard line into Washington territory.
You're going to see as they come out with a blitz, it's Rich Balot, 57, coming inside on a blitz, leaves his man, Trains. He's left in the flat by himself, man for man. No one's covered him. Fouts sees it, dumps the ball off to him. You got to like these little blitzes, because when they do it on 1st down, you leave a back uncovered, Tim, and if the quarterback is smart enough like Fouts is, he can find him and get the ball to him.
Well, he's thrown 7 completions, and each time for a 1st down, and that's no doubt part of the equation. Anderson shakes out the tackle and dances his way to the 42-yard line. You know, we asked Gary Anderson, who was your idol? Who did you watch when you were a kid that you thought was the greatest halfback? And he said, I always loved O.J. Simpson, but they tell me that I look like Gale Sayers, and I've looked at some films, and, well, I can understand, you know, why he was a great player. I'd like to be like him. Look at this. 51-45. Atlanta over Dallas in that game, 37-35. But the Jets in overtime. Ken O'Brien to Wayne Walker, a 43-yard touchdown pass. I like to see those overtimes won with a big play instead of a field goal, don't you? I love it. Yeah. Flags everywhere there. Did I say Wayne Walker? Well, thank you, our producer, David Michaels. Wayne Walker would love to catch a pass from Ken O'Brien.
Vernon Dean this time. The right corner for the Redskins was playing way back inside. Now, when Anderson came out wide, Tim, Vernon Dean stayed back inside and didn't come out. And what Fouts did was snap the ball quickly and turn and throw the ball out to Anderson.
Offensive center, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
Now, this happened in the Miami game in the first game of the year, and they did this twice for over 50 yards in completions, but both times they were for false starts. Here it is again. Now, see, Dan sees him uncovered, and he says, give me the football, give me, here. And now he takes it out and fires out to him real quickly.
And you saw Masick move the ball prematurely without taking it up, and therefore the penalty against him. 2nd and 9.
Blitz.
He's got Anderson. Just overthrown, a flag down as he was grabbed just as the ball arrived, and it looked like it was Vernon Dean, number 32. And the call made immediately at the 10-yard line of the Redskins. And I'm not sure the ball was catchable. It's going to be close. You never know with Anderson, I guess, but
they had a blitz on that time.
Number 22 offense.
No, it's Jordan, not Dean.
They had a blitz on that time coming up inside. Fouts reads the blitz and goes out into the flat. Has his man open. Now Curtis Jordan sees that the man is open and he sees his hands go out, so he reaches for him and gets to him before the ball. Actually, he was decoyed that time by the receiver, and he lulled him into getting a penalty.
36-yard penalty and a 1st down at the 11-yard line for the Redskins. Gibbs and staff unhappy. One setback. Anderson. No pressure.
Oh, wide open.
A man open and overthrew it.
There used to be an old saying that if you give a quarterback enough time, he'll get the football to anyone, and you'll always have a completed pass. That time, Dan Fouts couldn't have had more time and more opportunities. Look at Dan. I can't believe. What do you mean? The guy was wide. He had 5 or 6 seconds. He went around the field. Really. He went around the field. Finally, he came back, saw Chandler wide open, but simply overthrew him.
That makes him even, because Schroeder did the same thing with Gary Clark wide open, right? Schrader, pardon me. So they are now even in missing guys wide open in the end zone. 2nd and 10. going in. Another marvelous play by Gary Anderson.
You can see the blitz is coming. 57's coming from the outside. Malati comes inside. Now it's just a good job by Lachey on the outside, forcing the end wide, and then Anderson cutting back inside and doing an excellent bit of running and stretches the ball out for the first down. Doggone near got it in.
They have first and goal. 4 cracks from inside the 1. Marcus Cook is in the lineup, the rookie from Boise State. And it is a touchdown. Buford McGee. And the bomb goes off again down here. They fire the cannonballs, and the crowd loves it. Buford McGee's second touchdown run, both of them from a yard out. Van Erska will attempt the point after. 76 yards on 9 plays, with the 36-yard penalty a big factor. And it is good. We have 8:02 remaining first half. The Chargers 21, the Redskins 3. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw, Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, where the Chargers are showing that famous offense 21-3 here in the second period. 8:02 still to play first half. And the Washington defense that stuffed them on the first series has been unable to stop them since. Van Erska. High kickoff comes down at the 10-yard line. It's taken by Ken Jenkins, and Jenkins has a hold. Jenkins to the 48-yard line. Van Erska, the kicker, had to make the tackle. He was the last man. A 37-yard return, so the Redskins get some good field position.
Redskins need to get something going. It's 21-3. They need to get on the board for this thing becomes a complete rout. Jenkins that time doing a good job of reading his blocks, cutting back inside, set up the people, and then all he had to do that time was run over Van Erska, and he tried to. Didn't work, though.
First down at the 46-yard line. Schrader with the double wing formation to the right, and now Didier in motion. Play action. Hides it well and has a man open for a first down. The ball comes loose. Recovered by Billy Ray Smith. It was Art Monk, and he was pummeled as soon as he caught the ball.
They're going to rule it incomplete. Well, it's one of those indisputable visual problems. Let's see what happens. Oh, they're ruling it down. A completed pass and down. There's the throw over the middle to Monk. Monk's got both feet down. He hits the ground. Now the ball comes out. Good call. Good call.
Jeff Dale was the man who put the hit on him. The crowd, of course, thinks that ought to be a penalty. But the rule being that he was down before the ball came loose. First down, Redskins at the 41-yard line. Schrader, the ball deflected by Williams. Lee Williams got a big paw on it. 6'5", 265-pounder.
We're going to see it again. Now, one of the problems you have to have at tackle on it, especially with someone who's 6'5". Now, Williams is coming in hands tall, and Schrader, over the long stride that time, actually, Tim, brings his body down 6 inches, and he has to throw through the hands instead of over them.
A little easier for you big guys than the Tarkenton Theismann types, though.
No, but they did a pretty good job of it.
Second and 10. The middle complete to Monk, and he is hammered again as these Chargers are fired up on defense. Gary Plummer.
Plummer, one of those guys that walked on in high school, he walked on in college, he walked on in the USFL, and he walked on here. Now he's dropping back. He reads the set of the quarterback. It's a short shot, and then boom, boy, he drives right through, does a good job. You know, whoever wrote these things about the defense of the Chargers, they were soft, and I'm hoping that the Redskins didn't read them because they're playing anything like the football team we saw last year.
Kevin Wyatt comes in at nickelback. He's a rookie from Arkansas, picked up on waivers from Miami. Mike Douglas is in. And pass rusher Earl Wilson on third down. A flag is down. It's complete to Didier. Didier has first down yardage and is pulled back, but he has the first down depending on the flag. And it is Donald Brown, the Maryland rookie, with the tackle. See what Gordon McCarter and his staff of Zebras have picked out here. The illegal motion procedure against the Redskins, so the first down will be wiped out.
One of the problems you'll have, Tim, in an offense that has a lot of multiple sets and motions is getting the snap off too soon, and evidently that's what happened that time.
Illegal motion offense, 2 men moving, numbers 81 and 86. 5-yard penalty, repeat, third down.
Well, you got Monk, you got Didier, so neither one of them has to, no one's stuck out on their own. They can share it.
But only one of them was supposed to be moved.
Really?
So the coaches will know.
Multiple offense and sets are good to try to get people to mess up, but when they backfire on you and cause you to give up a big first down, then you have to wonder whether or not they're worth it.
Third down and 10. The ball now at the 41-yard line of the Chargers. Double wing right. Warren set up there.
Showing blitz, and all of them are coming.
Intended for Monk. One-on-one. Oh, it's caught by Monk. What a play. To the 3-yard line. Off the hands of Wayne Davis, who had perfect coverage and was unable to bat the ball away. And Art Monk, boy, that's concentration, Terry. 38 yards.
Well, you had an all-out blitz, and when you have all-out blitz, you place your corners man for man on the wide receivers. Schrader this time sees it, comes outside immediately to Monk, his #1 receiver. Now, Wayne Davis is in great position for an interception. Monk says, hey, hello, where have you been all day, little football? And he makes a great catch. Hey, not bad, huh?
Art Monk with 8 catches in the first 2 games of the season. Set the record for most catches in the season. And comes up with a big one here. It is first and goal, Redskins at the 4-yard line in the I formation. And that is Rodgers picking up a couple.
Excuse me, Tim. The thing that I like to do as a quarterback is get away from running down here, especially if I were inside the 3 or 4-yard line, because everyone's penetrating. All the linebackers and the safeties and the corners have gap responsibilities. What I'd like to do is come out, play action, and cross the tight ends and a back in the flat. There's no way you can cover them and you get a quick touchdown. That's why you see so many quarterbacks with 4 and 5 and 6-yard touchdown passes.
Well, let's see what the Redskins do on second and goal from the 2-yard line. Go to Rodgers again, and Rodgers gets it in.
Nice pass, huh?
Yeah, great pass. It was a safe pass. He passed it right into his belly. Well, a safe pass.
What the heck? That's good thinking on my behalf, I thought. This is not bad thinking either. Turn around and give it to number 38, Rodgers. Heisman Trophy winner.
So Rodgers closes the margin here, and I want to tell you, don't anybody go to the refrigerator for too long, because, and I'm not talking about Perry, I mean to go get that cold one. You're going to miss something in this game. Flags everywhere. Now that's intensity when there are flags on the point after play. 4:08 to go here in the first half of play, and it's already 21-9.
Offense.
Well, what you have going is a football team in the Redskins that are 2-0, and they said the last time they started out 2-0, they went to the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl was playing in Anaheim, California. Then on the other hand, you've got Coryell, who, if they don't do it this year, more than likely might be fired. So there's a lot of pride at stake, and a lot of people that are counting and seeing a lot of things into this game today.
And a sellout crowd to enjoy the excitement. And Mosley just calmly takes the extra 5 yards and pops it through. And so it is 21-10 Chargers, 4:08 to play, first half. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw, 4:08 to play in the first half. The Chargers lead 21-10, but the Redskins have just scored to close the margin. George Rodgers, and a good offensive series for the Redskins. Well, at halftime coming up very soon, the NFL Today will feature Brent Musburger, Will McDonough, and Ken Stabler. And Jimmy the Greek will talk about that Oklahoma-Miami game coming up next week on CBS, numbers 1 and 2 in the country. And, of course, all the scores and highlights. And what a day of action we've had today. Imagine the Dolphins and the Jets 51-45. In overtime, the Jets win it on a 43-yard touchdown pass. And Don Shula's got to be down in the dumps. He's got some problems on defense, to say the least. The kickoff taken by James at the 2-yard line. Lionel James, and if he hadn't run into his own man, Terry, he might be in the end zone at this moment.
There was a huge hole, and had he taken one more step to the left, then it's a foot race.
A 30-yard return as it is for the little train to the 32-yard line. Let's see it again. He hit his own man.
It's just straight up the middle. Normally, a kickoff return will try to set him up by going one way, then back to the left. But actually, Gary Anderson, his own man, got in his way and forced him to hold up, then tripped him.
Boy, they'll have some conversation about that. Those two speedsters. First down at the 31, and 3 receivers out to the right for the Chargers. 1 setback. Fouts up the middle, picks up about 7 with the pass to Charlie Joyner, and it was only a matter of time until the 39-year-old veteran was going to get a ball. And Dan Fouts, referring to Joyner, says he's my security blanket.
One of the interesting matchups today are with the tackles, Kowalski and Lachey. Lachey being on Manley and Kowalski on man. Both between the two of them, they had 29.5 sacks. Right now, those two tackles are winning the job.
Curtis Jordan on the tackle on Charlie Joyner. It is 2nd and 2. Fouts flaring it out to James. Skips through one tackler, but good defensive work on the corner holds him to a gain of maybe a half yard at the most.
Curtis Jordan, free safety, loves to read the quarterback's eyes. One of the things a successful free safety will do is read and react. Now, he's coming completely out of coverage, Tim. He sees the little flare pass that's 20 yards away and gets up and makes the stop on James.
Sure-handed tackle by Jordan, and he told us yesterday that he'll be looking at the tape. He records at home on his VCR and wants to make sure that 22 gets credit, not 32, when it's Jordan making the tackle. And this time they stuffed the Chargers behind the line for a loss of about 3. Let's see who the first man there is. It is Neil Olkowitz, the middle linebacker, number 52. And a good defensive series for the Redskins, and San Diego will have to punt.
One of the keys, the absolute key to a 4-3, 4-down lineman and a middle linebacker defense, and Olkowitz is the key to the Washington Redskins stopping the run. It's his responsibility. That time he did his job. How'd you like to be in the middle of all of that pounds of flesh and be the one guy that has to read the ball reaction and then fight off pulling guards, pulling tackles, and get in and have to make the stop, and then come out on play action and have to cover tight ends and backs?
Well, the Chargers elected to let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning. It is 21-10, and we'll be back in San Diego in a moment. The San Diego punter is Ralph Mozienko from Salzgitter Liebenstadt, Germany.
That'll work.
Yeah, and, you know, believe it or not, he told me on Thursday here, see the spelling of that name? He told me he got a letter from North Carolina last year from a family that spells their name exactly the same. And it's a Ukrainian name, and not only that, but their son is a punter and a kicker in high school in North Carolina. He was astounded.
What's his first name?
Didn't get his first name, and it wasn't Ralph.
Bet it was Buck.
So Mozienko.
Billy Bob Mozienko.
Billy Bob, that's probably about right, yeah. Long count here.
Oh, yeah. Well, this guy's got a strong leg, and they want to back him up some more. He's only going to have to kick it 80 yards now to get it in the end zone.
Well, I'm not sure what that was about. What do you think, that they didn't like the look of what they saw from the rush from the Redskins?
What happened was the people that were counting their blocking assignments evidently got confused and were messing up in the center.
Way of game, offense,
the center.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
The center, who waits for the signals to be called before he snaps, evidently they couldn't make their mind up and they ended up getting a penalty.
Well, now he's standing back at his own 17-yard line. It is 21-10. San Diego leads. 2 minutes to play first half.
Nice kick.
Dandy. Jenkins back at the 15-yard line of the Redskins. And Jenkins gets out to the 25, where he is buried by Woodrow Lowe, the veteran linebacker, who had been a starter here in San Diego since 1976. But in this big shakeup defensively, Fred Robinson moved back from defensive end, the third-year man from Miami, now in his spot. 53-yard punt. We'll be back in a moment. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw. We are back here at Jack Murphy Stadium with 1:47 still to play in the first half, and the Redskins scoring the last time they had the ball. Defensively, the Redskins hadn't given up a touchdown in 6 quarters, a rushing touchdown in 17 quarters. Well, they haven't been playing the Chargers. The Chargers have got 2 of them today from the 1-yard line from Buford McGee, but it's been a varied attack that has given the Redskins fits. Now let's see what Jay Schrader and company can do. Lots of time for him to Didier, and it is knocked down by Billy Ray Smith, and about 3 guys had a chance to catch it on the deflection.
If you would look at Schrader and compare him with Fouts and the 2 styles, they would be very apparent on this pass. What you had was a 2 deep zone, 2 safety splitting, going way deep, and the middle linebacker setting at 20 yards and stopping. And it takes a touch pass, an anticipated pass where you throw to a spot. Fouts does that. Schrader, by his own admittance, like to stand there, see the man get open, and then throw the football. And that time it cost him.
Yes, he said, as he did about Rodgers being different from Wiggins in the timing of things, that the pass attack under Schrader timing is different as well. As Theismann used to throw those timed passes like Fouts did. Now this time off to Warren, and it hit the ground. It was nicely fielded by Don Warren, but he only gave it a half-hearted run. He knew the officials.
You can see the frustration on his face because they needed that play. That play was set up extremely well with a fake one side, back the other way, and they had a good setup, and the linemen were downfield. That would have been a big play for him. Unfortunately, he threw the football too low, and it bounced in there. Screens are good. You like to use screens. People know you're going to pass. They're going to rush the passer. Linebackers are dropping deep. If you get guards or tackles out on them, Tim, you've got a big play.
Saw the play being signaled in from Gibbs and his staff. 3rd down at the 25-yard line. Double wing right. 5 defensive backs in on the 3rd down play. Kevin Wyatt, number 30 in the Chargers secondary. Good time for Schrader.
He's got him.
Guns at the Clark. And what a job by Donald Brown, the rookie from Maryland. Hello, Maryland, says Brown. I can run with your guys.
It's hard to believe that a wide receiver in the 2-minute offense, number 1, can get by a corner. He should be off playing in deep. But this time Clark beats him. You can see there Donald Brown, 32, is beaten and beaten badly. Perfectly thrown football right in Clark's hands. And then here's the great effort with the right hand coming over and stripping Clark of the football.
That was some pass from Schrader. Meanwhile, Cox punts it. And a bouncing punt takes a Washington bounce, fielded by James. Flag down as James gets to the 43-yard line of the Chargers. A flag down back at the 30. Alvin Walton, rookie defensive back, made the tackle for the Redskins. 45-yard punt and a 12-yard return. Let's see what the flag is about. Alvin Walton made that tackle. Here's a look at Don Coryell, that usual intense look on his face. Looks like he's mad at the world for every minute of the football game.
Looks like a rooster.
He does smile, though, I must tell you. Well, that's because the hair is just flapping in the wind there a little bit.
You've seen the way he bowls his arms out, and his elbows out. You put some feathers on that, and you got a rooster walking around.
Number 30, receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
Kevin Wyatt, number 30, charged with the infraction, and they'll drop it back to the 20-yard line, and the Chargers will start there with 1:17 to go, and they lead 21-10.
If this were the Steeler offense in the late 70s, we would run the clock out and get out of here with a big lead. But with the Chargers, though, I'd expect them to throw the football.
Little drop play to James, and James gets out of traffic, but he's then nailed after a gain of only a couple. Good reaction by the Redskins, and it was Vernon Dean who made the stop.
I guess evidently the Chargers think that they're the Steelers of the 70s because evidently they're going to run the clock out.
Well, 50 seconds remains and they're not in any real hurry, but he's going to throw now. And get some time. comes
Intercepted.
and it's incomplete, out of bounds. Intended for Gary Anderson. Barry Wilburn, the nickelback, number 45, a second-year man from Ole Miss on the coverage. Now that stops the clock with 44 seconds remaining.
Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If you have this type of offense, come out and throw the football. If you're going to run, then run. Let's get out of here. But if you're going to throw, then throw. You have the greatest receivers in the world, plus one of what is considered the best quarterback to ever play the game. So, Tim, why not throw?
5 yards penalty. Repeat second down.
Redskins evidently had an extra man on the field for the last play, so Chargers get 5 the easy way. Well, with little James, though, you never know. He might just pop one for you on a draw play like that. Here it is again. See what I mean?
Well, maybe the guy's hard to keep your eye on. He's so short. Shortest guy in the National Football League. Second draw they've run. 3 plays, 2 draws, and a pass that was incomplete. James gets through on a draw. Back up all across the middle. And people ask, why in the world would a guy be wide open? Once again, when you rush the passer, Tim, you leave lanes open with linebackers going out to cover and help double up on the wideouts. There's big gaps in the middle.
Let's see. My point would be that first draw play that they ran to him is really a pass look play, and they figured that he can pop it like that any time, and sure enough it happened for them. So I think they're going to try to score, and there'll be some scoring next week on our college football coverage. Saturday, number 1 Oklahoma against number 2 Miami, 3:30 Eastern time. Oklahoma is 2-0. They beat Minnesota 63-0 yesterday. I read the story carefully today to see if there was any suggestion they ran up the score, but even the Minnesota coach said, hey, they used their 3rd and 4th teams, and I can't complain about any effort on their part to run it up. They just got a lot of great athletes. Miami is 3-0. They're ranked number 2, and so it's the Boz from Oklahoma against Vinny Testaverde, and that's next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern time. First down inside Washington territory at the 49. Lionel James. Coleman chases him out of bounds, and he stops the clock with 29 seconds left. And the ball at the 36-yard line of Washington. 5'6", 170 pounds from Auburn. And he is a load, not in the traditional sense.
Something that happened here that you very seldom see a defensive secondary do, and that is that in a 2-minute drill they went to man-to-man coverage. Now, Fouts was smart enough to get a play off that had the back isolated on a linebacker. Man-to-man, he beat him. There was no secondary there. He runs out of bounds.
Fouts with time, and he's got Chandler open. With 18 seconds on the clock, a 23-yard gain, and the ball at the 13-yard line.
Football's a game of chess. One moment you're throwing man-to-man, the next moment you're trying to confuse the quarterback. You go to zone. Game's up in the middle. The offensive line gives Fouts plenty of time. He turns around, and then he finds Chandler wide open coming across the middle. That's just a good job that time by the receiver and the quarterback. Actually, when he got into the reception area, he slowed down. Fouts came back and threw him the ball. See how simple this game is. One moment they're doing one thing, next minute they're doing something else. And you got to sit up there and you got to figure all this stuff out and make it look easy.
Terry, your moment on the practice field as we watch Benerska getting warmed up with Fouts, saying, what? I'd sure like to be out there with all those guys you have to work with. I mean, you can understand why. I mean, it must be fun for him to play quarterback with all these weapons.
Well, it's fun for him. If there's a problem, it's keeping Joyner and Johnson and James and McGee and Spencer and then Tremaine Johnson and Wes Chandler, trying to keep all of these guys happy, because the problem I see the Chargers have is you have so many people. How in the world do you get them all involved? But some way, somehow, the Chargers are able to do that.
Well,
Defense is crazy.
They have here in the first half. They've had every single guy on offense involved. First down. Player pass. Gary Anderson Anderson.
Mistake.
Good defensive reaction there out at the 9-yard line by Ken Coffey. Coming off that knee injury, injured reserve a year ago. The third-year man from Southwest Texas State ran off Tony Peters and Rafael Cherry to get his spot back.
Now, he made a mistake. As good as he's been this first half, the mistake he made that time was trying to make something out of nothing. Fouts tried to go deep. His outlet was Anderson once again. He threw him the football. He knew he wasn't going to score. And what Anderson should have done is turn immediately and get out of bounds. What they've done now is force him to use a timeout, instead of going ahead and stopping the clock automatically.
There's the man who made the defensive play, Ken Coffey, 6'190-pounder, and making a one-on-one tackle against Gary Anderson is no easy task, as we saw him turn Rich Malott around back in the first period en route to a touchdown. It'll be second and almost 6. It's a long 5. They need to get to the 4-yard line for a first down. They got 11 seconds to get into the end.
What do you do now, Tim? You've blitzed your linebackers, all of them. You've been burned. You've come out and you've blitzed 2. You've tried everything so far as the defense can do to stop this offense, but you have not safety blitz. So I would expect that they have got to be aggressive here. If they drop off in their zones, Fouts will hit them for a touchdown. If they get aggressive and put pressure on Fouts, they could possibly get an interception or definitely an incompletion.
Holohan goes out to the right. Slot formation left. Buford McGee the lone setback.
No blitz.
Got time. Steps up. And it's intercepted. Vernon Dean. But a big defensive play for the Redskins right at the goal line and gets it out to the 4.
The one thing you don't want to happen as a quarterback in this situation with only 4 seconds remaining is to come off that football field with not at least trying to get a field goal. Fouts has a lot of time. What the Redskins did was drop back into zones. Everyone taking an area and staying there. Dean, reading Fouts, comes underneath and makes a big interception out of zone coverage, which tells you just exactly how good a right corner Vernon Dean is.
Intended for Charlie Joyner, but Vernon Dean with a big defensive play. So this first down at the 5-yard line with 4 seconds left. I suspect that they'll just cover this one up and get in there and sort things out at halftime.
You might want to remember that play, that set of downs later on in this game. It could come back to haunt the Chargers.
Yes, indeed. It's 21-10, but 11 points. Not a big margin with 2 teams that can play the game the way these two have in the first half. Don Coryell got to be pleased with the effort, not just on the scoreboard, but the fact that he's got an offensive team that he knows about and a defensive team that's playing awfully well. And so that's the end of the first half with the score. The Chargers 21, the Redskins 10.
Sports training and competition.
Back in New York with Kenny Staler and a beaming Jimmy the Greek. He came back from Atlanta. Greek, I didn't believe you. The Falcons, they played their hearts out down in Dallas today.
There's only one problem with the Atlanta schedule, Brett. They have to play 9 people, 9 of the teams that were in the playoffs last year.
All right, well, Jimmy, let's show everybody the videotape and get them up to date. It was such dramatic fashion that the Falcons were able to come back in the intense heat of Texas Stadium. Danny White to Mike Sherrard, his top draft choice out of UCLA, and the Cowboys opened up a 35-27 lead. Then with time running out, Ken Stabler, what about this desperation pass by David Archer?
I tell you what, he's looking for the guy down the field. If you'll see at the end here, there's contact, but it took great concentration for him to come up with the ball, which he does right there.
And that was Floyd Dixon, who almost scored, was brought down, and then Mick Luckhurst kicked an 18-yard field goal. Now, last play of the game, Kenny, what about this pass to Tony Hill? Could he have stepped out of bounds and set up a field goal?
Well, he had some running room here, as you'll see. Once he catches the ball across the middle right here, he has some running room. And, you know, an athlete thinks that he can win the game right here. He's not thinking about getting out of bounds. Right here, he thinks he can probably score, but he should have probably gotten out of bounds.
Jimmy, do you think
There would have been 1 second left if he'd have stepped out.
And stepped in, might have pulled it out. Boy, that was a dramatic game. We had other ones. And, hey, Greek, smile again. You said Seattle would come east. I'll tell you what an afternoon he had. 38-31. The Seahawks scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. Now, Tony Eason had a big afternoon for the Patriots. Here he is going to Stanley Morgan, 44-yard touchdown, and it was 24-14. The Patriots led by 10. That was Morgan's 50th touchdown pass. What about this blocked punt against Rich Camarillo?
Well, they helped Seattle an awful lot. Yes, the second punt that he had blocked today.
And then it was David Craig with the winning play on this bomb to Ray Butler. What about Craig as a quarterback?
Well, a couple of years ago, he had a terrific year and took them into the playoffs, and I think it's the key. They're going to play good defense. I think the key is that Warner stay healthy and that Craig plays well.
I know, but if you go up the middle and pressure him real well, he's not a great quarterback.
Spoken like a defensive coordinator. Tampa Bay and Detroit today, and the Buccaneers had lost 19 in a row on the road. What about Steve Young?
I think this is when he's the most dangerous, Brent. It's when he gets outside and uses his running ability like he does right here. He's not a real pure passer.
All right, and the Detroit Lions lose in the Silverdome by 4. Minnesota and Pittsburgh. Hey, keep an eye on the Vikings. Jerry Burns doing a pretty good job. 31-7. I know the Steelers aren't much, but the Vikes are 2-1 now. How about the Denver Broncos? All over Buddy Ryan's defense. 33-7. John Elway had a tackle-eligible play for a touchdown in that game. Buffalo and St. Louis, and the talented Jim Kelly gets into the W column. 17-10 over the St. Louis Cardinals was the final score in Buffalo there. And the Los Angeles Rams over Indianapolis, 24-7. And Eric Dickerson was able to score 1 touchdown for the Rams in that game. And what do we think, man? He's the best running back in pro football?
I think he's dynamite player. If they can get a little help from Bartkowski to take some pressure off of him, when they get ahead, they can control the game with him.
Now, this was early on when the Colts were still in the game, and a deflected pass thrown by Jack Trudeau and Jerry Gray coming away with the interception, and that set up a rally by the Rams. And Jimmy, your observation about the Rams was that early on they were fairly lucky, and now they believe in themselves.
There's no question about it. But the thing about the Rams is their defense is what's keeping them in all the ball games.
And that was certainly shown there with those sacks. And right now, let's send you back to the stadium and the game you're enjoying on CBS. The game that needed an adding machine for Kenny and the Greek. 51-45. Jets in overtime over the Dolphins. 926 yards of passing. 10 touchdown passes. 6 by Marino. His career high. Now here's O'Brien. Schuler a little hitch to Hector. And this set up a big score. Now, 4 times Wesley Walker caught touchdown passes. This is the most important. All the Dolphins have to do to win this game is just keep him out of the end zone. They cannot do it. He falls in. They go to overtime. Jets win the coin flip. And here comes the moment of controversy. Was this ball fumbled? From this angle, it appears beyond a reasonable doubt that the ball is coughed up before the back hits the artificial turf. But the officials rule no fumble. And a short time after that, the Jets strike. It's O'Brien. Touchdown pass number 4 to Wesley Walker. In OT, they pull it out. Now, you know the rule this year. There's an instant replay official upstairs. Now, we've not played with time. We're going to show you this sequence from the end zone. Here comes the return man, and from this angle, it's pretty clear that he fumbled. But you got no time to notify a man down on the field. I mean, the Jets, after the kickoff, are ready to go, and Kenny Stabler, that puts an added burden on those officials upstairs.
Yeah, something has to be, a decision has to be made, Brent, to stop the clock or give the guy more time to make that kind of decision, because as a quarterback, you're going to get up there on a fumble situation like that, get things going, and get the game on the way.
And, you know, Jimmy, some coaches are going to start to call timeouts.
I'll tell you one thing. The Pittsburgh-Denver game educated them. They ran the play as quickly as they possibly could. Go ahead and knock it, Brent. You have been.
Well, they got to change it. They got to make it work. They need some officials upstairs. They got courage to make the big call. That'll help straighten it out. New Orleans and San Francisco right now. Let's get you up to date. It's 13-10. The Niners with the lead, just as the Greeks said they'd win without Joe Montana. Kansas City upsetting Houston. What a day the Greek had today. All right, the Giants and the Raiders. Hey, he's right here, but it's only the half. Big second half coming up. Washington, San Diego. The game you're watching, 21-10. And let's send you back now to San Diego. And hey, Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw. Dan Fouts, a little bit different quarterback out there on grass.
All right, we're back here at Jack Murphy Stadium. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw, and certainly an exciting first half of play. And one thing Don Coryell's got to feel good about is that last week they had only 41 yards rushing. They've already got 104 in the first half, and Dan Fouts having a great day. For the Redskins' part, Schrader struggling a bit, Terry, 6 of 17, and a total of 163 yards in the half.
Well, the difference between the two offenses between Schrader and Fouts is the fact that Schrader's thrown the ball down the field, meaning he's thrown the football longer completions, 20-yard passes. He's had a couple of long passes, not necessarily dropped, but stripped by the defensive back. He's missed one guy wide open for a touchdown. Another guy he missed deep on the sideline. So he hasn't been sharp in the first half. A little bit of his own stuff, a little bit of his receivers not putting the ball away. Fouts on the opposite side has kept short passes, and they've really mixed their offense up well as opposed to the Redskins.
Well, that's what we talked about the beginning of the game, that despite the fact the Redskins have a solid defensive team, no question about it. The record speaks for itself last year and this year. They hadn't really faced an offense that throws as much at you as San Diego does. And I would have to say that no matter who plays San Diego, even though the Giants did the job last week, more an off day by the Chargers than great defense by the Giants, they're going to be tough for anybody's defense.
If there's one change that possibly, Tim, could take place in the second half, and this is just speculation on my part, we could look for Barry Wilburn to come in, and possibly you would see them start with 5 defensive backs to match up better with their personnel. 3 wide receivers and Anderson, a running back, maybe isolate him with a defensive back. Sure, you do that, you give up a little bit to the run, but I think if the Chargers beat the Redskins in the second half, it's going to be like they did the first half, throwing the football.
Be interesting to watch and see whether they make that defensive adjustment. We'll have plenty of excitement, that's for sure. We've had lots so far. CBS Sports coverage of the NFL football game will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw, Jack Murphy Stadium, 21-10. Chargers lead the Redskins. We're about to start the second half. Joe Gibbs in the yellow jersey there on the background, and had an interesting comment for us yesterday, and was saying to him, you know Coryell so well, and you have a long history going back to San Diego State and in the pros with him and so on, and you must have a pretty good fix on this difficult, complex offense. And he was very quick to say, no, that's not necessarily the case. We've been away from each other for quite a while, and he said, I think coaches change their offenses by at least 30% each year. And I found that an interesting number, Terry, because, the question was whether or not it's because of the defenses that force the offenses to change 30% a year, or whether it's just that you're trying to stay ahead of your opponents. And Joe seemed to feel that probably most of it's because of the changing defenses. You just got to stay up with everything. All right, here's Benershka to kick off for the second half action. The Redskins in white to our left, and from the 10-yard line, King Jenkins gets out to the 27-yard line. We'll spot it. And Woodrow Lowe, Woody Lowe, the veteran linebacker, formerly a starter, now a reserve, but considered the real leader on this defensive squad. Great attitude about the changes made by the new defensive coordinator, Ron Lynn, and certainly off the first half. And the fact that they have not been pushed around the first 2 weeks defensively, you've got to feel they made a lot of progress on defense here in San Diego. The offense was a known quantity. Now let's see what Schrader and the Redskins can get going here against this young defense. 3 4-year men are the senior members of this defensive team. Everybody else 3 years or less. And that one almost picked off right at the sideline by Davis. It was intended for Gary Clark, and will leave a second down.
One of the options that is missing when Schrader moves out of the pocket like that is the fact that as big and as talented as this young man is, the option to run. Now, I know we don't want our quarterbacks running, but a smart run is different than a foolish run, and he possibly could have run and picked up 3 4 yards that time instead of forcing a football in there that possibly could have been intercepted.
Keith Griffin in the lineup now for Rodgers on 2nd and 10. From the 27, we begin the second half. The Redskins with the ball. Get some time. He's wide open. Art Monk out of bounds at the 33-yard line. He just couldn't keep himself on balance, or he could have tiptoed down that sideline all the way for the score.
The thing that happened, Monk's going to beat his man and beat him very badly. Now Schrader this time, reading the linebackers, drops back, sees the safety, holds the football, and now actually leads Monk away out of bounds. There's no one back there. He should have just gone on and thrown it down the field. But regardless of where the ball was, Monk should have caught it, hesitated, and then taken it up the field, and probably would have scored a touchdown.
Wayne Davis, the man trying to catch up with him, but it's first down Redskins at the 32-yard line of San Diego, opening this second half. Rodgers batters his way for about 5. Plummer is there, number 50, and Chuck Ian, the nose tackle, number 78 at the bottom of it.
Number 50, Gary Plummer, along with Chuck Ian on the
It'll be second and a long 5. Let's call it second and 6. So they mark it at the 28-yard line of the Chargers. Redskins trailing 21-10. An exciting first half. A lot of offense, most of it working most effectively for San Diego. Rodgers again. Stacked up this time. Got maybe 2 just with that strong effort. Leslie O'Neal, the rookie from Oklahoma State, their number 1 choice. They are so pleased with O'Neal and last year's number 1, Jim Lachey, the offensive tackle, that the rebuilding program here in San Diego seems to be solidly underway with these 2 youngsters starting.
You can see that shield. He got a finger in his eye in the last week's game, and he has that shield up there, Tim, to prevent another finger from poking him in his eye.
Third down and 5. Clark with a hesitation motion. And the blitz on, and the pass to Clark. Hauled down by Brown, Donald Brown, but a good job by Schrader on that one.
This is just a tremendous effort by Schrader. Woodrow Lowe, number 51, right outside linebacker, comes in blitz. He blitzes. No one picks him up. Schrader's going to drop back. Now you see the blitzes. There's Lowe, 51. Holy mackerel, he says, what am I going to do? I've got to throw this football, but I don't like to throw the football before people make their breaks. I've already said that. Theismann was great at it. That time, boy, he unloaded it before the break. He had to. Great throw, great catch by Clark.
And a first down at the 17-yard line of San Diego. Complexion of the game would change dramatically if they can take it in. Rodgers running well, finding some daylight and picking up close to 10 yards. May have the first down. Let's see where the spot is. Fred Robinson, the outside right side linebacker, number 90, making the stop.
Well, they've tried running Rodgers to the right. They've had very little success. So this time they go over Grimm and Jacoby with Didier leading the blocking. He gets it. Rodgers got inside to him, saw a little hole, then broke back to the right.
Remember, they've got Raleigh McKenzie in there for the injured Truman at right guard. This is Rodgers again trying the left side, and it looks like he has the first down on second and about a yard. And now the Redskins will have some working room and time here and downs to work with, and it is a first down.
This is the fun part of the football game. You're on the 6-yard line. You've got an offense here that is fun. You can do a lot of things. It's going to be tight coverage. There'll be a lot of blitzing and stunning, and you can move people around. And if they go in motion and the back runs with them, you know it's split, and then you can go to the proper people. So this is a good, fun time for Schrader.
First and goal from the 6. Rodgers. Chuck Ian hauls him back. He got maybe 2 with the forward momentum.
3-yard gain.
And they're calling it a 3-yard gain. Let's see where they spot that ball. They do down at the 3-yard line. Rodgers now 42 yards on 14 carries. Second and goal from the 3-yard line. Monk and Clark go out, and we've got Didier. And Dan McQuaid comes in, lines up as a tight end. This is their power offense here in short goal line type yardage. Didier in motion. Don Warren, the lead back, a loose ball. And recovered by Schrader. It looked like he was going to hand the ball off to Warren, the tight end, who was lined up as the blocking back for Rodgers. Now, whether he tried to hand it to him or whether he wanted to get it to Rodgers and Warren knocked it out of his hand, let's see.
Warren was the lead blocker that time, and what happened was Schrader came out. Warren was the lead blocker. He was lined up in a fullback position, blocking, kicking out on the end, and Schrader messed up. He stuck the ball into Warren's hands, and Warren said, hey, that's not for me. That goes to the guy in the backfield there, Rodgers.
And it leaves third and goal at the 7. Schrader rolling. He's got backside pressure, but it's incomplete, intended for Clark, who was there at the goal line and dropped the ball. William Davis on the coverage.
Tough day for him. Earlier, Donald Brown strips a long game from him right before the half ends. Now he comes out. Good throw this time by Schrader. Goal line, you got to really drill that football in there because there's not enough time and not enough area to make a good soft throw. So he fires it in there, and he just simply dropped it.
Well, Schrader told us yesterday that some of the guys, as they have been getting used to his passing, have found his bullets a little too hard to handle, but he feels that he's worked on that. He can feather them and float them when he has to, but as you point out, Terry, that's when you got to zing, right?
Right.
Mosley has the field goal from the 16-yard line, a 26-yard field goal, and it closes the gap now to 21-13. San Diego on top. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw at Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, California, where the Washington Redskins, on a 24-yard field goal by Mark Mosley, have reduced the margin to 21-13. The Chargers on top. An impressive drive by young Jay Schrader, taking the Redskins down the field from the opening kickoff. But with the pass dropped at the goal line by Gary Clark, they had to settle for 3. And Terry, you're making the point while we were away that generally, when you're down in there tight inside that 10, the quarterbacks are going to try to throw that touchdown pass out wide like that, huh?
You do that because teams blitz, and there's no one in the middle to protect the middle, so the corners will line up on the receivers and get inside to keep them from getting inside. If they get inside them, then it's easy touchdown because there's no one there, so you always line up inside, so you throw the routes and run them to the outside.
Gary Anderson takes that kickoff, picking his way back to the 38-yard line. And you can see that Steve Cox under orders to keep that ball down, bouncing, line drives, not giving Anderson or Lionel James a real good opportunity for a return. But nonetheless, Anderson has the Chargers with good field position for Dan Fouts at the 39-yard line. Number 14, the great veteran, 34 years of age in his 14th year out of Oregon. Buford McGee, and blasting through behind the right guard, Dennis McKnight, and the tackle Kowalski for a pickup of 8 yards on the play.
7-yard advance.
Buford McGee, number 21, option quarterback, if you can believe that. And something we could look for, Tim, possibly somewhere along the line in third and shorter in the goal line offense is the option. The Chargers have an offense where McGee will take the handoff and then option with it.
Second and a long 2. Anderson nowhere to go behind the right side. Good defensive plug job done there by Dave Butts, the big 300-pound veteran, and Neil Olkowitz, the linebacker number 52. Butts at 36 years of age, along with Curtis Jordan. And Jordan saying yesterday, you know, we have to provide the leadership now. We're the veterans. Theismann, Riggins are gone. Those were vocal people, character type, huge personalities, big stars, and things are different now, and we realize we've got to, as the veterans, kind of provide that leadership on the field. Third down after a loss of about a half yard. Buck running out of time, gets the ball off, but they will call it a sack. He was in the possession of the tackler. He got the ball to Charlie Joyner, but Dexter Manley had him wrapped up. So Dexter Manley, last year's sack leader for the Redskins, comes up with one.
Fouts is a quarterback that sets short. 5-step, he plants. Look at Manley, 72, get around Lachey. But the real pressure was between the tackles that time. Hamill and Butts, 65, as Hamill came around the outside and actually got his arms around Dan's feet and pulled him down.
Manley with a sack, and Ralph Moshienko will be punting to Darrell Green. Moshienko at his 23-yard line. And he's boomed a couple here in his first 2 opportunities. Green waits for it at the 18. And this one, not a good one. A low snap. Comes down at the 25. Darrell Green shakes a tackle and gets over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Finally wrestled out by 2 or 3.
Woodrow Lowe.
The Chargers, yeah.
51 says, I don't like that. And Green says, we'll take it anyway. He's got his hands up now going, hold it, guys. That's enough. I've had enough.
All right, good field position for the Redskins here, and they trail 21-13 with 8:43 remaining, third quarter. Well, that's next Saturday. 1-2 Oklahoma and Miami. Oklahoma rolling it up yesterday, and I hesitate to put it in those terms, but 63-0 over Minnesota.
That's rolling it up.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I don't mean anything bad by that, because even the Minnesota coach and his people said they weren't doing it on purpose.
Running it up, then. How about running it up?
Anyway, Miami and Vinny Testaverde, that's next week. 3:30 Saturday, Eastern Time. First down, Redskins, good field position. Rodgers gets some even better field position up to the 49-yard line. Rodgers likes to carry the ball. In this game today, he figured to get more than he got last week in terms of carries, and they're keeping him busy.
15 for 47 yards and 1 TD. The offensive line is doing an excellent job. They're not the type of offensive line that traps a lot, but that time you could see that McKenzie and May were doing a good job of drive blocking their people off and giving Rodgers opportunity to pick the hole.
Nose man Chucky and made the tackle with his second and a long 4. Rodgers again, and he has the first down, bulling his way into that hole with that quick, sharp beginning that he likes to pop off the ball with.
Tim, ideally what Coach Gibbs would like to see now is his offensive team drive the ball down, wear on the Chargers a little bit, use Rodgers, get 4 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, and start pounding on these guys, and then put it in the end zone. Eats a little time off the clock, gets them back into the game.
21-13. They've got plenty of time. They have to score twice, obviously, but lots of time. They have 7:31 remaining in the third quarter. Play action pass. It's deflected and almost intercepted. Plummer diving, trying to come up with that ball. I'm not sure who got a hand on it, but the ball was deflected. And it's 2nd and 10.
One of the keys to this game and on throwing the football for the Redskins is keeping Leslie O'Neal, 91, out of the game. As you can see, there's no pressure right here. Look at the good job that Jacoby's doing on him, getting help from Bostic. Hey, they've got 3 guys on him. Even Russ Grimm was having 3 guys on him. You think that's not respect for a rookie?
Boy, you're not kidding. 2nd and 10. Monk in motion. The blitz, and off quickly to Keith Griffin. What a defensive play. That was the rookie Donald Brown coming up quickly when he saw that ball arrive to Griffin, and he had a man on him. What a job.
Good job here. Now, the key was that the Redskins figured that no one, Donald Brown especially, would be able to come off of his jam on the corner and make the tackle. Donald Brown is supposed to be blocked. He wasn't blocked. They turned the linebacker loose. They dinked the ball off, but then Brown surprised him and made the catch. Look at O'Neal. He's loose. No one on him.
3rd down and a long 6. The crowd aroused here at this defensive effort and the big play situation. 3 receivers to the right. Monk, first down and moving to the 25-yard line, tripped up by the safety Jeff Dale, but a first down, Redskins.
When in doubt, throw the football to crossing routes. This is something the Redskins have been doing ever since Coach Gibbs got there. Inside, you can see he's looking for Monk all the way. A crossing route, trailing number 37 that time, Dale, as he makes the catch. As Monk makes the catch, Dale makes the tackle, but it's too late.
Schrader's pass stats coming up nicely. He's now 10 of 24 and has reached the 200-yard mark. The Redskins rolling at the 25-yard line of San Diego. Blitz. Rodgers cuts it back up the middle, and he is close to another first down. Billy Ray Smith tripped him up, number 54.
That's the first time we've seen a safety blitz coming off the slide.
Art Monk has caught passes in 47 consecutive games. That one there was a big play here. We have a timeout on the field. There's Art Monk. Jeff Dale is the injured Charger player creating this timeout as they measure for the first down.
Tim, that was the first time that we've seen the Chargers go all out with a safety blitz, gambling that there would be a pass that time, hoping they would surprise the Redskins and sack Schrader. That time the Redskins caught him off guard. They saw the blitz, and they had a little gapping trap up inside, and that time Rodgers almost got, well, he did get the first down.
Jeff Dale, the injured player, and this creates some real problems for San Diego. As it is, John Hendy, who would be a starter at safety, has yet to play this season because of a knee injury. He's dressed and ready to go if he has to, but Gil Bird's been in that spot. And with Jeff Dale out and Danny Waller's gone, they got some problems. We'll be right back. Well, Jeff Dale is up and over at the sidelines now and moving a little tenderly. It appeared to be a leg injury, possibly knee. Meanwhile, Kevin Wyatt, the rookie from Arkansas, picked up from Miami recently, is out there now. And we'll see if they've moved Gil Bird around. The Redskins are charging into the Charger territory at the 10-yard line. And let's take you right now to Brent Musburg in New York for an NFL update.
All right, Tim, the Giants get on the scoreboard. Phil Simms with this touchdown pass to Manuel, 18 yards out, and the Giants lead. They're over the Raiders now, 7-6. Let's go back to Tim Ryan.
Giants with a victory over San Diego last week following their loss to Dallas, one of the favorites in the NFC. Dale has come back into the lineup, and they stack up the Chargers right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe about a yard gain on the play. Rodgers stopped by O'Neal, the rookie, and it'll leave 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins. They need to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. Rodgers comes out. Holloway is in, the rookie wide receiver. Didier comes wide right. Gary Clark is in there. Monk and Griffin, all the pass catchers. All-out blitz. Drop ball. Incomplete. Art Monk. The veteran Woody Lowe was in on the coverage. Monk had first down yardage, couldn't hold on.
You can see the blitz, all-out blitz coming across the middle is Monk. The ball is actually thrown behind him. As you can also see Bird and Brown, number 32 and 22, as they collide into Monk that time, making sure he didn't catch the football.
So the young Charger defense stops the Redskins again, and Mosley will try from the 16. 26-yard field goal is good for Mark Mosley. And the Redskins chip away. They trail by 5. 4:19 to play. 3rd quarter, 21-16 San Diego. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw back here in San Diego, where Mosley's 26-yard field goal has reduced the margin to 5. 21-16. And next Sunday on CBS, most of you will see this game from Tampa Bay. The Atlanta Falcons, winners over Dallas today against Tampa Bay, who defeated Detroit. The Falcons are 3-0, and the Bucs are now 1-2.
Well, I wish I had the guts to tell you what I said earlier in the year, and I'll say it. I said that this is the team that could really be a surprise. Actually, I said it about both of them. I thought Atlanta would be much better and win a lot more games, and so did, I think, the same way about Tampa. Easy to say now.
Well, we'll find out next week a little more about both of them. Gary Anderson from the 10-yard line. Anderson runs into traffic and now picks up another 10 out to the 30-yard line after he had bumped into one of his blockers.
Crucial series of a set of downs here for Fouts and his offense. What you have is the Redskins that are moving the football and scoring. Now the Chargers have got to come out and answer these touchdowns and field goals with field goals or touchdowns of their own.
They've been shut down so far in this 3rd period. Todd Bowles made that tackle after the return by Anderson. Fouts with Buford McGee, the lone setback. And he hits the tight end, Kellen Winslow, for a first down to the 43-yard line of San Diego. And it was Coleman and Olkowitz, the linebackers, combining, covering that tight end.
One of the things that Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, told me in their offense attack and how it has changed is that Fouts has had more trouble with the pressure on the corners in this tight end, and that he is a passer who throws on timing and throws the spots.
Flag down on this play, and
same thing that happened earlier. Dan sees the wide receiver Chandler uncovered. Chandler doesn't see what Fouts sees. Dan snaps the ball early, throws it to Chandler, who goes inside to make a block. illegal procedure. Once again, as you see, the same thing that happened. Chandler's uncovered. No one's on him. Dan sees it. He gets the ball early, throws it to Chandler, and Chandler doesn't see
Illegal
it.
motion, number 89, offense. Penalty declined, second down.
Chandler, the man charged with the illegal motion.
He's going, "Oh, what are you throwing it to me for?" And Faust is going, "I'm throwing it to you because there is no one covering you." Why are they so open like this, Tim? It's because of all the sets. Everybody's getting confused on who to line up over.
Well, and we talked with Curtis Jordan yesterday. He said, you know, that's the thing. He said, my brain's fried from looking at their game films. You know, they got so much for us to be covering. 2nd and 10. Fouts. Got a man, Joyner. Ken Coffey on the tackle, but a San Diego first down at the 39-yard line of Washington. The second first down of the half. With 3:28 remaining in the third quarter, just the second first down by San Diego, as the Redskins have dominated play here so far, but now the Chargers are charging again.
You're not going to believe this, but I was just a baby when this man first came in the National Football League.
Yeah, I believe that.
Would you?
He's 39 years old, the oldest wide receiver ever. He's a chartered public accountant in the offseason. Acts as his own agent. I like that. Gary Anderson picks up about 5. The one thing I didn't get to find out about Charlie Joyner is how he happened to own a Czechoslovakian bakery in Houston. I'm definitely going to investigate that. Maybe he's a friend of Ivan Lendl's. Meanwhile, Anderson with a 5-yard pickup to the 35-yard line. And look at this, just 55 more yards, and he breaks the NFL receiving record of 11,834 held by Don Maynard, the old New York Jet in Joe Namath's days.
I bet you a donut he does that.
I bet you a Czechoslovakian donut. A gain of about 2. Dave Butts making the stop on Buford McGee. It'll leave 3rd and 3. Now here's probably the first crunch play of the game. 2:37 remaining in the third period. Chargers lead, but only by 5. The Redskins have scored 2 field goals here in the third period. And the Chargers faced with a third down situation, a chance to keep momentum, perhaps get into the end zone with something. For the Redskin defense, the test right here. Hamilton is in, Butts is out, Snipes is on the field. Anderson dropped the football. He had gotten away from Vernon Dean, who slipped on that infield grass. But Anderson drops the ball, and so the Redskins, not so much by their own effort, but with a little luck, have stopped the Chargers here.
The thing they wanted to do was isolate Vernon Dean man for man onto Anderson, number 40. They got that isolation. Vernon Dean has him. Now he goes up the field, Anderson does, comes inside of his wide receiver, and they pit Vernon Dean. See Dean coming out on the outside? And then 40, Anderson, he just drops the football.
Ralph Benershka will attempt from the 40-yard line, a 50-yard try for Benershka. He's got it. Benershka, a 50-yard field goal. The Chargers 37 yards in 7 plays. And the Chargers open up a 24-16 lead. So they didn't get that first down, but Benershka delivers the goods. His previous long, a 53-yarder for Ralph Benershka. Benershka and Ralph Mozienko both having the German connection, the 2 kickers. Mozienko born in Germany, Benershka born over here, but of German parents. His father a prominent pathologist and conservation expert here in San Diego. And Oshienko was saying, you know, occasionally we're standing around at practice and we get talking to each other in German a little bit just to kind of, you know, impress the other guys, and it does.
It impresses themselves because the other guys don't understand it anyway.
The kickoff is taken at the 4-yard line by Jenkins. Got over the 25 to the 26. A collision with Kevin Wyatt, stopping progress there. Wyatt, number 30.
Kevin Wyatt.
Schrader from the 25-yard line will try to move the Redskins. Last time they had the ball, the last 2 times they've had the ball, they've marched downfield but had to settle for Mosley field goals. Slot formation right, Monk in motion. Play action. Schrader for Monk. He's got it. To the 15-yard line of the Chargers, and there are Redskin fans in this sellout crowd, and a bunch of them are right in front of Art Monk, cheering that 58-yard gain.
Credit this play being successful not only to Schrader and Monk's ability to throw and catch, but to Clark's ability to get through the middle and take the weak safety with him. The weak safety comes off of his rotation, which was to double up Monk. Now Monk has no one left over there to help him. I mean, Monk, not Monk, but Brown. As Monk gets by him, all of a sudden Gilbert, 22, as you see, pops into your screen.
Redskins threatening again at the 16-yard line of San Diego. Monk in motion. Schrader to Warren. He's wide open, but then a good reaction at the 15 to the 10-yard line by Davis, preventing a bigger gain, but he got 5 on the play to the 10-yard line. Don Warren played his college football out here at San Diego State. Second and a long 4, we'll call it. Slot formation left. Didier in motion. Blocking for Rogers. Touchdown. With the noise here for that touchdown, as San Diego, a city of immigrants from other American towns, there are obviously a lot of them from the nation's capital.
Good block by Warren, a good lead block by Didier. As he kicks out, Warren blocks down, and then Mark May, McKenzie, all of these guys seal their inside pads off, and then Rogers with a good shot. Once he got outside, it was clear sailing.
Mosley with a point after. 74 yards in 3 plays, just a minute 40 it took them, and suddenly a 1-point gain. There is George Rogers, 24 to 23. Now, we warned you not to leave your television set for the remainder of this one. Let's look at it again.
Well, you can see that Rogers is back there by himself. There's Didier as he goes in motion. He'll block back. Bostic blocks back. Now you can see 86 outside Didier as he makes a good block. He kicks out, and there's no one inside, no pursuit inside because of the blocking that time of McKenzie and of May as they sealed back, and there was no one there to make the stop.
The big bomb to Monk from young Jay Schrader is really having himself a second half. And Rogers now with 81 yards, 2 touchdowns on 20 carries. He likes to stay busy. He may be breathing heavily now, but if he had to go back out and carry it again on the next play, he'd be ready to go.
When they look at the films, the Chargers, one of the things a defensive back cannot afford to do when he's in a 2-deep zone is to come out of his area. That time with Clark going down the middle, then the safety that time respected him so much that he came out of his rotation and picked up Clark, leaving Monk one-on-one outside that time with the defensive back.
Well, the bad news for the Chargers defensively is probably their best player on defense. Billy Ray Smith, the 4-year linebacker from Arkansas, moved outside this year by the new defensive coordinator Ron Lynn from the inside linebacker spot. Was injured last week, suffering an ankle injury, and played hurt on it against the Giants, and has started and played through to this point. But apparently that ankle has given out on him, and we are told he will not return. So Danny Waller's gone for the year from the corner spot. Handy out with a knee injury, and now Billy Ray Smith. This is Lionel James, and the little train gets to the 18-yard line. Good kickoff return coverage by the Redskins. And it was led by Tim Morrison, one of the several good-looking rookies on this team from North Carolina, a free agent. He and Todd Bowles, Alvin Walton have given the Washington staff a lot of hope for the future here, especially with the age starting to show on the likes of Curtis Jordan at 32 and some of the other defensive backs, Vernon Dean, 27. First down. Gary Anderson, and good coverage by the aroused Redskins, dropping for a loss of about 5 yards on the play, and it's Dean Hamill. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. San Diego Chargers 24, the Washington Redskins 23. We now pause for a word from your local station. Back here at Jack Murphy Stadium, it is second down and 15 as we begin the fourth period. Back penalty. Fouts falls down, and he's dropped at the 1-yard line. Covered there by number 72, Dexter Manley.
Now you see this happen
for a sack.
You see, yes, I imagine it will. You see this happen on artificial turf where the quarterback will get his feet caught in the seams, but this time Dan just falls all over himself.
And he was on that infield dirt and looked like when he backpedaled there, he slipped a little.
His feet didn't touch his cleats. Evidently got caught in a chunk of dirt.
So Manley gets the easiest sack he's likely to get all season long.
We're talking embarrassing right there.
And meanwhile, it's third down at the 1-yard line. Steve Hamilton, Angelo Snipes in defensively from the end zone. Snipes lets it fly for Anderson, and who's got it? The Redskins may have intercepted, yes. Barry Wilburn, number 45, the second-year man from Ole Miss. Second interception against Dan Fouts, and Wilburn comes up with a big one.
Wilburn, the nickel back, comes in on passing situations. This time Dan just forces his football. He doesn't really have the arm to wait this long to throw it that far. And as you can see, it was a great reaction by Wilburn, 45, as he goes up and takes the football away from the receiver. Surprised too that, you know, one of the problems you don't want to get into as a quarterback, you don't want to force things. You want to try to get 30 yards back just because you just fell on your face. Go ahead and stay within yourself. Get 15, 20 yards or whatever you can get, not the whole ball of wax.
Well, they needed a lot to get the first down, though, Terry. You know, that was third down and very long.
Well, you're talking a 40.
Timeout called by the Redskins.
Well, you know, the offense that the Chargers run, some of their touchdowns, and most of them are where you hit the seams, Tim. And talking to Zampese, he said, we'll hit the seams, they'll make the catches, and then go on and make the first downs. Not try to go all the way up and get the big ball.
All right, with a timeout, we'll be back. San Diego up by 1. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw, Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego. 14:27 to play regulation time. The Chargers lead by 1. It has been all Redskins thus far in the second half. And Terry, let's go back to that long pass from the 1-yard line by the Chargers.
What I'm saying is take your 15-yard completion and run for the 30 or 40 yards. But for Dan to step back there and try to make a 40, 50-yard pass to get a first down, I just don't think it's smart football.
All right, George Rogers for the Redskins gets to the 30-yard line of San Diego. And a pickup of maybe 4.5 yards on the play. Chuck Ian and Gary Plummer making the stop. And let's see what adjustments they've had to make here defensively with Billy Ray Smith gone. The veteran Woody Lowe is now in the lineup, number 51. And we'll see if he's in Billy Ray's spot. On the outside. It is 2nd down and 6. Didier in motion. Rodgers. Nowhere to go. Good defensive job. And it's Woody Lowe, number 51. 31-year-old veteran from Alabama.
Very similar to the touchdown run that Rodgers had earlier where Didier kicking out. He kicked out again. Rodgers cut back up inside and was run into by Lowe, number 51. One of the problems we may have now with the Chargers is with Plummer is going to be the man responsible for taking the defensive calls and passing them on to his players with Billy Ray Smith out of the football game.
Keith Griffin, the lone setback. And it's batted down. And it was Fred Robinson, number 90, for the big defensive play. 4th down.
A converted defensive end, number 90 this time, makes penetration and gets into the face of Schrader. And when Schrader throws the ball, goes up with a big mitt, knocks the ball down. Schrader actually had Monk open in the slot. Monk had gone down, made a 15-yard in cut. The safety ran with him. Now the safety falls down. Monk goes outside, wide open. Schrader sees it, but Robinson knocked the ball down.
Mosley from the 37-yard line, a 47-yard try.
Blocked.
Well, you don't have to get dressed up to come to a San Diego game. You see some people dressed down, but they cheer lustily.
What you're going to see is Mosley just hits this football low. That football, there's no way that football could have gotten over anyone's hands, even if they hadn't even stood up to block it. He just hit it low. It was going about 2 feet off the ground.
Now that's also out on his outer reach there, 47. Maybe that little effort to give it something extra. But meanwhile, at the line of scrimmage, the 30-yard line, the Chargers take over. 13:28 to play regulation time. They lead by only a point. Chandler hit behind the line and a good defensive reaction. Flags are down on the play. Ken Coffey, the safety, coming up and making the hit on Chandler immediately.
That's a good defensive scheme that time with Coffey up on Chandler. What you want to do is force Fouts to continue to go to the wide flare, and you do that by covering the receivers downfield. That time the Redskins did it. They forced him to hit the wide flare.
Illegal use of hands. Number 68, offense. Penalty declined. 2nd down.
He makes the catch. They tackle him. He loses 4 or 5 yards.
Gary Kowalski, number 68, the converted tight end. Now an outstanding tackle at 6'6", 280. From Boston College, and this time charged with illegal use of the hands. And their little mess up here on the yardsticks, and they haven't taken the marker back till they march the ball off. All right, 2nd and 15 from the 25-yard line. We're ready to play. Fauci's got Kellen Winslow, and Winslow almost a 1st down. Picked up about 14.
Winslow
Coleman on the tackle.
Winslow had stated earlier that he doesn't feel that he's back. 51. Monty Coleman, who's taken Mel Kaufman's place at left outside linebacker. Kaufman out for the year with an Achilles injury. Now he's injured. Who's going to come in and take Monty's place? Probably Angelo Snipes, number 59.
Looked like he's holding his hamstring there. And this could be problems for the Redskins defensively. The Chargers have lost Billy Ray Smith. And now Angelo Snipes, another USFL refugee out of West Georgia, had 11.5 sacks at Oakland of the USFL. And has fitted in very well here as a backup linebacker. Now he's got to be a starter. See whether Coleman gets back in or not. Buford McGee, and McGee gets some daylight at the 1st down at the 45-yard line of the Chargers.
Tim, what makes makes this play so successful is the respect that the Redskins have for Buford McGee as an option runner. A lot of times the Chargers will turn around and hand to number 21, and he will go down and option the defensive end. And the ends have to play wide to stop it. And what he does is come out, the option's there. If the end's wide, he keeps it and goes up inside. That time with the option on, he kept it and got the first down.
Curtis Jordan making the tackle on the play, but it's a first down for San Diego. For 17 yards. Jordan again stops him, but it's another Charger first down.
You've got a Redskin defense that's being extremely aggressive. That time, left defensive end, number 71, Charles Mann, will come into your screen on the right side and actually run right by number 21. See 71? He goes right by him. Buford McGee cuts up inside and makes another first down.
Lionel James. Jordan again on the stop, and he's been a busy man as the Chargers, with a running attack, have rambled down to the 25-yard line.
Well, Fouts has a series of plays that are set up for Little Train there. He's got a series right and a series left, and they're called Lionel James plays. He also has a series for Anderson called Anderson right and Anderson left. Flair left.
Anderson. Knocked him out of bounds. Another first down, San Diego, and Coffey may be hurt.
Now with the Redskins dropping their linebackers deep, Fouts comes out. He says, now I'm going to try to hit my left end. He's covered. Linebackers are deep. Wide Flair. Anderson, now I'll use my end, number 88, and he'll make a good block downfield for me, and I'll make a first down.
Holohan, the tight end, making the block for Anderson. A first down, the Chargers. An impressive drive to the 12-yard line of Washington. 10:34 remaining in the fourth period. A one-point Charger lead.
Reverse.
And a fumble. Fouts covered by Fouts, I believe. Alert play by the slow-footed quarterback. And they got to pitching that ball around instead of handing it off on that reverse.
How many times do you see a football team get greedy? We saw the Redskins last week with Schrader doing the option, make a fumble, a crucial fumble. Now what we see is another, gadget, what they call gadget plays, where you're moving the football, running and throwing smart passes, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, you decide it's time to be cute. Now there's the juggle. Now the Train just flat doesn't have his hands on it, and he gets bopped that time. He gets just really waylaid by Butts. No, Hamilton did, number 64.
Terry, watching that in practice, I frankly wondered in my amateur way why they have him flip the ball to him instead of handing it to him. I mean, you've always got more of a risk if you're asking the guy to catch it, in full stride like that. And this time he was unable to get a grip on it. Good job by Fouts to recover. Trumaine Johnson. Johnson gets inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Olkowitz made the tackle.
Fouts coming out, reading the area, trying to go deep. Always deep, number one as a quarterback. Think deep. Now they're covered deep. Now he's fixing to get hit, so he unloads the ball to Trumaine Johnson. Right before 71 that time, Charlie Mann Charlie got in there and knocked Dan down. Knocked Dan down.
Ouch. Third down. 12 to go. Big play here for both teams. A one-point game. They need to get to the 2 for a first down. Fouts gets time. Low pass to McGee. Did he make the catch? No, says the official. Two men on him, and Fouts drilling the ball low, but McGee could not come up with a catch. And it's fourth down. Olkowitz.
You have to have, excuse me, Tim, you have to have quick passes in these areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, get that ball off. You don't have enough time, nor do the receivers have enough time to run all over the field because of tight coverage, man coverage inside the 20-yard line. Dan waited too long that time to get the ball to Buford McGee.
Winerska from the 22-yard line. 32-yard field goal. Boosts the margin to 4 again with 9:07 to play. Fourth quarter, Chargers by 4. Oklahoma, Miami. Don't want to miss that next Saturday. There's Monty Coleman, and we are told, yes, it's a hamstring, and no, he will probably not return. What a tough break for him and the Redskins. He's in there to replace Mel Kaufman, gone for the year with an Achilles injury. And Monty Coleman talking to him yesterday, he was excited, felt bad about Kaufman being out, but happy to get a chance to start and play all the time, and bing, he's gone. And such are the fortunes of football. Jenkins gets it back to the 28-yard line for the Redskins. David Martin, reserve defensive back, makes the tackle, number 33 for the Chargers.
Well, you hate losing linebackers. They're probably the most important people, in my opinion, they are on a football field, because their responsibilities are to stop the run and then to cover backs and tight ends out. And you bring in a young man that has to take his place in 59, Angelo Snipes. It just puts a lot of pressure on their team, possibly have to alter a few things.
First down, Redskins, down by 4. Schrader, 12 of 27, 264 yards. And that battered away by Robinson again. Now, here's an ironic thing. Robinson has moved over to the left side in Billy Ray Smith's spot. Woody Lowe moved to the right side, where he had been playing as a starter for 11 years, so I'm sure that they felt he'd be more comfortable on the right
Seniority.
side. Yeah, seniority. And meanwhile, Robinson has now batted down 2 consecutive balls. My question to you, Bradshaw, is perhaps the fact that Schrader's been looking at the shorter Billy Ray Smith all day. All of a sudden, he's not expecting that big, tall guy over there.
I don't think that's it at all. I think it's just that Robinson is more comfortable on the left side than would Woodrow Lowe be. Woodrow's in his comfortable position on the right side, and now all of a sudden Robinson may be finding himself on that left linebacker spot.
2nd and 10. Blitz. Lots of time. Good protection. Across the grain, knocked away, intended for Monk. And it was Wayne Davis knocking it down.
Number one, very few quarterbacks can go around to the right and throw back around. But the time that he had to throw this football is what's important. Now we're going to look up inside. They got a rush on outside. As you can see, O'Neal, no way can he get inside. Williams, no way can he get inside. Boy, look at these guys stuffing Jacoby and Grimm, doing an excellent job. Now, just because of good coverage, Schrader has to move out of the pocket.
3rd down. An aroused Charger defense. Gary Clark can't get to it.
Oh, he had him. He had him on the post that time. Schrader had to move around, and he missed him.
This crowd loves it. Defense is not something they get to cheer very often at Jack Murphy Stadium. And whether or not Schrader threw it long or not, and whether or not Gary Clark had Donald Brown beat, it's incomplete and punt time, and that's what they're applauding. They're used to cheering Fouts in the offense and not too many hollers for the defense, but so far these youngsters have been doing a pretty good job here today. Good kick. Good kick. Taken by James at the 23. Out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And now the pressure on the Washington defense to get the ball back for the Redskins. 8:29 to play, and they trail 27-23.
Well, a reminder that next Sunday at the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time, that'll tee up a whole bunch of good games, including the Cincinnati Bengals and the Chicago Bears. The Bears coming off the Monday Nighter up in Green Bay. New Orleans against the Giants. San Francisco will take on Miami. The Dolphin defense in disarray right now. The Rams go against Philadelphia. Green Bay against Minnesota, and Detroit against Cleveland. Then we have one late game. How about the Atlanta Falcons? They shocked the Dallas Cowboys today. They will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But let's send you back for the end of this game. Should be a dandy. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw. Tim?
Well, it is a 27-23 ball game, and the Chargers have the football, so this is a big defensive series for the Redskins. Terry, with 8:29 to play in regulation time, it would appear that they've got to make something happen here, get the ball back, and give Schrader a chance to move them ahead.
Well, they matched field goal for field goal. Now touchdown for touchdown was very, very important. They have to keep moving. They have to score here because it looks like their defense is up to the task. Now the offense has to come up to the task.
Well, yet another look from the Chargers, and Buford McGee, the lead back, picks up about 2. Dexter Manley, number 72, makes the tackle. Both of these teams with starting linebackers out. Monty Coleman leaving the game with a hamstring for the Redskins. And as most of you know, looking in, already having replaced Mel Kaufman, gone for the year with an Achilles, and for the Chargers, losing Billy Ray Smith. Woody Lowe has come into the ball game, moved to the right side. Robinson moving over into Smith's spot on the left. 2nd and 8. Chargers. Good protection for Fox in the middle. He's got his man Joyner. First down at the 49. The Washington Redskins. And it is Vernon Dean.
Good job by Fouts once again as he tried to get the ball to Anderson on the left side. He pumped the football to him and then came back across the field after Anderson was covered and found his man wide open in the middle. I look at him, come out, he looks, says, where's Anderson? Whoop, he's covered. Now, oh, yeah, back over the middle, wide open. 18. Good job, Charlie Joyner.
First down in Washington territory. Hold down after a gain of 2.
Well, you put your defense, Tim, in a real awkward position here because they're saying, gee, with 6:59 and counting, and we're down a little bit here, we've got to get the football back. But every time we seem to gamble with our defense, we get burned. Now we're playing a little soft, dropping off in these zones, and now they're running this football at us, which zones are designed to stop the run because of support. But now what do? Do you blitz? Do you lay off and play zones?
Yards. Fox pumps one way, comes the other way, and it is broken up. Intended for Joyner, knocked down by Ken Coffey. 2 receivers wound up in the same area, and they're talking it over right now.
What happened was Charlie Joyner's the intended receiver, and you had 2 people in the same area. One was supposed to stay wide. Joyner's down the middle, as you can tell, and he's supposed to stay down the middle. He's not supposed to go out wide. But what happened was Wes Chandler, who was supposed to stay on the sideline to draw the safety over to him, he drifted in the middle, bringing the coverage into the middle, therefore almost impossible to complete the pass.
Meanwhile, Gary Kowalski has limped off the field. The starting right tackle has been replaced by rookie Jeff Walker, number 72, a 4th-round pick from Memphis State. 3rd down. Pressure on Fouts. He got it off to Anderson, who made a good catch, but a solid defensive play by Vernon Dean, putting the hit on him as soon as he caught the ball, and it is well short of the first down. San Diego will have to punt.
That's the same pass route we had seen earlier where Anderson had dropped the football for a big first down. That time they came out, he went outside, came underneath the other receiver. He was open, he makes the catch, but Dean, 32, was there to stop him short of the first down.
Darrell Green is back, awaiting the punt from Ralph Mojienko. And so the Redskins defense did the job. They didn't get the ball upfield with a turnover, but they have got the ball back for the offense. Let's see what Darrell Green can do on the punt return. Mojienko really nails that. That's going to go right into the seats practically. Lands in the end zone and bounces upfield. But they will start from the 20-yard line. So the Redskins, with 5:31 to play, now have the football at their own 20-yard line. Jay Schrader brings it on. Well, we've got a full evening of entertainment for you as usual on CBS. Tonight on 60 Minutes, don't miss this. Imelda Marcos will talk with Diane Sawyer about Swiss bank accounts and all those shoes. How many pairs of shoes you got?
2.
2 pairs of shoes.
Brown and black.
Both with you here, Dan. Notice that. Followed by George Washington II, the Forging of the Nation. And then a special presentation, Walter Cronkite at Large, all tonight on CBS. First down, Redskins. Play action.
He's got
Monk. Dropped immediately, and a gain of maybe 2 or 3 at the most.
Schrader came out with his play action. What he did that time, instead of faking and drawing the linebackers up, actually that time the safety Bird came up, and then Clark, number 84, went flying down the middle, probably 15 yards behind Gil Bird, and Schrader had already thrown the ball off.
Donald Brown made the solid tackle. It'll be a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7. Earl Wilson in for the pass rush. Wyatt in as the nickelback. Good time. Clark behind his man, and it's just overthrown. A flag down. Interference called against Donald Brown. And the rookie from Maryland, perhaps thinking that Clark had a better chance to catch the ball than he actually had. Big play for the Redskins.
Clark and Brown have been involved in this all day long. Once again, Clark has got his man beat.
Defense, first and 10.
There's the arm as he reaches out and pulls on his right arm, pulls his shoulder, Tim, and he can't extend his hands out to make the catch. He wouldn't have caught the ball. The ball was overthrown. But watch his right arm, right on the shoulder, and pulls him down. I don't think he would have made the catch. It's a good call by the ref, though. That is pass interference.
That would have been a tough catch, I think, anyway. But the point is that the rookie Brown didn't look up for the ball at any point, and it cost him. So the Redskins with a great opportunity at the 31-yard line. Rodgers blasting straight ahead, gets about 4 yards on the infield dirt. Here with the Padres play. Lee Williams and Woody Lowe on the tackle for the Chargers. 4:27 and counting down. At halftime, the Chargers led 21-10. The Redskins in the second period, in the third period, dominated play, and here in the fourth, they've got a chance to go ahead. He just got it off, and it's caught. The ball loose. Charger ball. Robinson recovering. Gary Clark had the ball, but couldn't hold on.
You hear coaches say all the time, hey, this kid's got a nose for the football. But once again, it's Clark. There's the hit by Gil Bird. And now you can see the ball is knocked free. And then who's there to make the recovery? But number 90, Robinson, who's gone from right linebacker to left outside linebacker. He's knocked down 2 passes. He's made a fumble recovery.
Gil Bird stripping that ball from Gary Clark. The biggest defensive play of the game. First down, Chargers. Buford McGee picks up about 3 over the 25. Charles Mann and Angelo Snipes on the tackle. Well, now the real test for the Redskin defense. They've got to get the ball back right away. 3:40 and counting down. They had a good opportunity on the long pass downfield intended for Clark. The penalty on the play. But Clark on the next play has it stripped away by Gil Bird. And Bird and his wife are expecting their child any day now, any hour now. He's keeping his mind on the football game. Lionel James, a little flare, picks up about 5. He'll be short of the first down by about 3 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 3, close to the 30-yard line of the Chargers.
3 yards.
Coach Gibbs got to be wondering what in the world we got to do. Every time we've had an opportunity to score and take the lead, we've either fumbled or we've had the ball stripped from our arms, our receivers. Clark seems to be either having a great day or he's been in on all the big plays for both teams.
Hamilton and Barry Wilburn in the lineup defensively. And that is caught. It'll be close to the first down, depending on the mark. The Redskins saying he didn't get there. Snipes on the tackle.
It appears from where I'm sitting that he came a little bit short, maybe a foot or so. But
Lionel James saying, I got it. Redskins saying, no, you didn't. And the referee will decide.
Angelo Snipes coming in, finding himself involved in a play that could very well mean a lot. They're going to give him first down. I tell you, I couldn't see it. I really thought that ball landed short. I didn't believe they made a first down.
Well, they had a measurement right there. You saw little Lionel James reach out with the ball to try and get to the marker, so that's one of those things about where they decide he was actually down. But it works out for the Chargers. 2:46, first down at their own 33-yard line. Again, that kind of full house backfield look they give every now and then. They've used it more in this period. McGee, James, and Anderson. And the pitch to James shakes out one tackle and then is swarmed under by 3 Redskins at the 30-yard line.
Redskins called timeout, Tim, but that power eye that you call a full house backfield with 3 backs in there is the same thing.
Washington, number 2.
Is the same offense that we've seen 3 or 4 times today. And once again, it's the option offense where James goes down the line of scrimmage, or Buford McGee, that is, and makes an option reading the end. End goes wide, he cuts it up inside, and that's what he did that time.
Well, we have a timeout on the field, and here with 2:28 to play at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw watching a thrilling football game that the Chargers dominated in the first half, led 21-10. The Redskins have had the best of it in the second half, but a field goal by Benershka, a 31-yarder, here in the fourth quarter has extended what was a 1-point margin to 27-23. The home team in front. The unbeaten Redskins at 2-0 and the Chargers at 1-1. And a pretty darn good defensive effort by San Diego's young team with only 3 4-year men representing the experience in that defensive squad. And that dazzling San Diego offense has given the Redskins fits all day long. Washington seems to have solved some of it in the second half. As we pointed out, they've had the best of it in the second half, but nonetheless, Chargers still on top.
Well, the thing you have is you have 145 yards passing for San Diego, as you look at 264 by the Redskins, and the rushing is just the opposite. 147 yards for the Chargers, 108 yards for the Redskins, so it's a little bit different.
You can see that scoreboard, the way things have tilted around here. San Diego with 2 touchdowns in the first period, and then in the third quarter, Washington scoring 13 points. And San Diego's field goal, the only score so far here in the fourth. The main thing is the Chargers have the football. Second and a long 11. Redskins need a big defensive play. Gary Anderson, and there's a good stop right there on Anderson. And it is Vernon Dean, number 32, the 5-year man from San Diego State. Played his college football right here. Last night his alma mater was walloped by UCLA in this very same Jack Murphy Stadium. Third down. Well, I guess if there's a play of the game so far, it's right here, Terry. 2:19 to play. Another timeout called, and the Redskins have used up their timeouts, so they've got to not only get the ball here, but to make something happen without having the timeouts working for them.
Well, there have been a lot of big plays. As you can see, 49ers up, Kansas City over Houston. Giants and the Raiders. Raiders had a hard time this year.
Rams defeating Indianapolis. Well, Jim
Buffalo.
Jim Kelly got a win today, huh? Woo, look at that.
Ooh,
you don't like that?
Well, I guess it's out of the dust. Get the dust off this old right arm. Go get me about $2 million a year and run back up there, huh? I'll settle for $1 million.
I'm sure that arm's ready. I'm not sure about the rest of your body. That's what I'm worried about. Atlanta and Tampa Bay, both winners today, and a big victory for the Falcons over Dallas. And next week we will be in Tampa Bay. It's a late start Eastern time. Most of you will be watching that game. Most of you looking in today, and you'll see the unbeaten Falcons against Tampa Bay, and now the Bucs are 1-2.
One of the things that when you see a team like the Chargers, they say, well, if we can beat a team like the Redskins that everyone respects and knows is an outstanding football team, then that gives them hope for the future, hope for this season. This is so much a bigger part of the season right now for the Chargers as it is for the Redskins. Probably more so that the Chargers win this football game.
It is 3rd and 10. Redskins not conceding anything, trying to stop him here. And there's a great defensive play. And it is Darrell Green against Trumaine Johnson. So the Redskins have held. They will have the football. 2:13 to play.
Great move that time by Green as Trumaine Johnson has the inside move. It's virtually impossible for a cornerback to run down a receiver when he has the angle like this. Now you can see Johnson is wide open, but look at the move that Green puts on him, number 28, to explode through and make that final explosion and knock the football down. Doggone near intercepted it.
What an athlete. The first-round pick from Texas A&I, the fastest man in the NFL, and he used his speed and athletic ability there. Ralph Moshienko, the punter, 2:13, and Green is waiting for the punt, and he gets a dandy. Green backed up to his 20. Trying the short side, is cut down at the 31-yard line. And it was Fred Robinson who's had himself quite a day defensively and on the special teams. Number 90. 2 minutes remain in regulation time. The Chargers lead by 4. The Redskins have the football when we return. The Washington Redskins Brain Trust with 2 minutes to play. The young quarterback Jay Schrader, successor to Joe Theismann, who can make things happen in 2 minutes. Schrader in his first full season as the Redskin quarterback, and the crowd here at Jack Murphy Stadium saying, you young guys out there can stop him. Deep for Monk. Broken up by Wayne Davis. Terry Bradshaw, you said that Schrader had an arm stronger than yours. We've seen a few examples of, I mean, he can throw that football.
I'm amazed not only at the strength of his arm, but I'm equally amazed at the ability of their receivers to get behind the cornerbacks. And as once again, I believe this ball is underthrown. As he leaves this ball out another 2 or 3 yards, Monk would have made the catch.
That was a long way.
Look at Davis leap up with great athletic ability. Boom, knocks that ball down. But Monk had him beat. This is what amazes me.
2nd and 10.
He's beat again.
Gary Clark. Got it. To the 10-yard line. Gary Clark.
No timeouts. You got to remember there are no timeouts. You got a first down, minute 37.
They're spotting it at the 14, 134 and counting. Schrader trying to call a play.
Take your time. You got plenty of time. Get up, set your offensive line, call a play, snap it off. Touchdown.
Gary Clark, touchdown. And the Redskin fans at Jack Murphy Stadium go wild. A 55-yard pass to Gary Clark, a 14-yarder for the touchdown.
Unbelievable. One deep pass to Monk, incomplete. One deep pass to Clark, same coverage, complete. One pass, Clark again, touchdown. Splits the secondary, gets low, perfect pass right between Bird, and there you have it. Unbelievable.
What an outstanding comeback here in the second half by the Redskins, but 1:16 still remains to be played.
May have been a big mistake on their part if you look back at it like this, and now that you give the Chargers a minute and 16 and their offense every bit as explosive as that of the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, but Terry, you made the point yourself that their deep receivers, their wide receivers, were getting deep behind the San Diego secondary all day. The Redskins knew it. If you can get into the end zone, you got to get into the end zone. I don't think you're suggesting that you're better off pecking your way up the field, hoping you're going to get to the end zone to use up some clock.
What I'm amazed at is that they were getting deep on their corners against zones. Now, the people say, what are you talking about? In zone coverage, the corners are responsibility away from rotation. It's the deep third. Get deep. Don't let the guy beat you deep. Never should a corner get beat on the zones. And what they did 2 times in a row was isolate their wide receivers man for man on the same side and go after Donald Brown and go deep to get into the end zone. Go after Davis 20 and Brown 32, but beat them both times with 2 different receivers. And finally, Schrader hit Clark on the last big one, then came back with a touchdown.
Redskins lead by 3. 1:16 remains. They've got Dan Fouts and all of those receivers to stop. The Chargers, remember, have got 3 timeouts remaining. There's Jay Schrader. What a job he did. This youngster under the pressure there of the 2-minute gun and doing the job.
I'm amazed at Schrader's ability and the confidence that Coach Gibbs placed in him and attacking Davis time and time again when Schrader was underthrowing his receivers, but he called the same play with a different person from a different formation and isolated Clark on Davis once again, and then this time Schrader comes through with a big play.
They used up only 44 seconds, 3 plays, going 69 yards. Now this time they nail that ball. Pops deep into the end zone, and Lionel James will not bring it out. They'll start from the 20-yard line.
Hang on, folks. In 40 seconds, we could have a change in leads again.
That's right, the way this game has gone. Here comes the great veteran Dan Fouts. On the day, 22 of 33, 236 yards. He's had 2 picked up. Incomplete, intended for Kellen Winslow, broken up by Rich Malott. 2nd down. San Diego, as we mentioned, with all of their timeouts left. 1:12 on the clock.
You see the difference already in the strategies as San Diego came out with a 10-yard crossing pattern as opposed to Washington with a 60-yard bomb.
What do they do on 2nd down? Lots of time for him, and it is low. Intended for Chandler. Fouts delivered the ball too low.
What they're doing is doubling the outside receivers, Chandler and Joyner, putting 2 safeties on them and running with them, going in and out all over the football field. Chandler coming up off the ball. As you can see, Barry Wilburn, 45, jams him, stays outside of his shoulder, says, "No way, baby. Are you getting outside?" Now Chandler comes back inside. He's open. The ball's bounced in there.
3rd down, he falls down again. Fouts is sacked at the 6-yard line.
Charlie Mann, 71. I don't understand it. I don't understand what's happening with Fouts and his feet.
Well, how about that infield dirt? That's a factor there. Twice that's where he's fallen.
First time he didn't fall on the dirt. He fell on the grass. This time
he slips on the dirt. He slips on the dirt.
All right, let's watch.
Right here, see?
No, I'll tell you what happened. His own man ran over him. He clipped his heels and made him knocked Fouts down. The last time he fell down, he just fell down on his own, Tim.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And this time the Redskins...
Let's look at it now. No, he's coming out. It's his center. Masick, number 62. Don Masick, the center, backed up over Fouts and got his ankle and pulled him down.
And Masick being forced back by Steve Hamilton, number 64, and giving the sack to Charles Mann. 4th down as the Chargers took the timeout. There's Don Masick, and, you know, nobody feels worse than he does at this point.
Tim, the thing about the offense of the Chargers and their blocking scheme is one that says prevent a wall, set up a wall, prevent penetration in that wall. The pocket for Fouts is 5 yards. 5 yards. Now that time, 64 that time, Hamilton forced Masick into the pocket where Fouts was forcing Fouts to trip and fall down.
Well, they need to get to the 30-yard line for a 1st down. This is it for the Chargers. A minute remaining. From the end zone, Fouts got lots of time. And it is intercepted. Curtis Jordan. To the 12-yard line. The Redskins have got this one wrapped up. The veteran Curtis Jordan, 32 years of age, out of Texas Tech, finishes off the Chargers. What a turnabout in this game as the Redskins have taken the second half away.
Fouts trying to get the first down. He had no choice. He had to get this ball deep. He pumped right 2 times. He finally turned and fired. His man was covered. Jordan, 22, free safety, makes a good move, intercepts the football. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, boy. You got to hand it to the Redskins for really a gutty comeback and making the big plays and stopping the Charger offense when they needed it most.
Well, it took them a while to solve it, but as usual, the Redskins at halftime can make some superior adjustments, and that they did as they came out and managed to take the play away from the Chargers in the second half. And while that offense was at its very best in its varied form in the first half, it's been all Washington in the second. And credit this young man, Jay Schrader. What a job he did coming up in this fourth period with the big plays to get the Redskins ahead, 30-27.
Their dominance over the AFC Central last year is kind of catchy. It's caught on now. Their dominance over the AFC Western Division with the victory over the Raiders and the victory today over the Chargers. Maybe they like, hey, you know, that maybe they say, oh, we ought to be in the AFC. We seem to do a pretty good job. Maybe we'd get to the Super Bowl a little bit quicker.
Well, the Redskins will move to 3-0 in that NFC East, one of the toughest divisions, perhaps the toughest. Lost by Dallas today helps them. Last time we looked, the Giants were still ahead of the Raiders.
Well, they'll lead that division, won't they? Aren't they the only undefeated team in the NFC East?
That's right. Dallas got beat today, and the Giants have a loss. Coming up next, we'll be going to the NFL Today wrap-up show with Brent Musburger, and then to 60 Minutes and the rest of our outstanding programming this evening on CBS. It is 2nd and 11, and Schrader just backing up, using up some time, and touchdown there at the 22. 35 seconds and counting down, and that should just about do it. So the Redskins move to 3-0, and the Chargers, well, they lost this ball game, really showed a lot of good things here today, and especially that young defense. Well, they are obviously still in the growth stage. They did a pretty good job overall.
You know, the thing about the Chargers over the years, especially since 1979, is the fact that they've had this great offense with no defense. And I played against them when they had a great defense, and they were really a hard team to beat. I mean, very few teams could beat them then. Only the Oilers. Now they come back and they have this great offense with no defense, virtually no defense. Now it seems like their defense is really responding, playing well under new defensive coordinator Ron Lynn. But the offense in the last 2 weeks is good, much improved today, the Chargers offense, as over last week. But once again, not able to give the help to their defense, who had played well, I think, all day long.
Well, this telecast has been presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the NFL is prohibited. And Schrader just backs it up, and that ought to do it. 24 seconds now. And the Redskins will move to 3-0 in the NFC East. And our final score here, the San Diego Chargers being dumped by the Redskins. Washington 30, San Diego 27, our final score. We'll be going to our NFL wrap-up show in New York with Brent Musburger, so stay with us. For Terry Bradshaw, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from Jack Murphy Stadium, where the final score is Washington 30, San Diego 27. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Well, right after the scoring update, 60 Minutes is coming up next on CBS. Diane Sawyer will interview Imelda Marcos, amongst other things, about all those secret Swiss bank accounts. Now, all finals are in. Giants over the Raiders 14-9. In 2 weeks, the Raiders have kicked only 5 field goals. Kansas City over Houston is a final now. 27-13, Chiefs a winner. San Francisco over New Orleans, so the 49ers stay unbeaten. Washington 3-0. Seahawks are next in RFK, 30-27 for the Skins. Atlanta with a big one over the Cowboys. Cowboys 37-35. Jets in overtime beat Miami 51-45. Seattle comes back in the fourth quarter to beat the Patriots 38-31. Tampa Bay wins for the first time in 20 road decisions 24-20. Minnesota now 2-1 in the NFC Central, beating the Steelers today. Denver 3-0, 33-7 over Buddy Ryan's Eagles. Buffalo 17-10. Jim Kelly a winner today, but no touchdown pass for Kelly. The Rams 3-0, 24-7 over the Colts this afternoon. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on CBS, a dandy of a college football game. Oklahoma and Miami, number 1 and 2, coming at you from the Orange Bowl. 60 Minutes is next. Diane Sawyer with Imelda Marcos. She'll ask her about all those shoes she bought over in the Philippines. That's coming up next. So long, everybody.